Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Hangout, or welcome to the Hangout, whether this is your first time or you're returning. I'm Joshua Cummins, and this format may look familiar to you if you're here on the mornings, right?
Oh, yeah.
Double checking the stream here because it looked like it. Okay, now there's peeps popping in. Okay, all right.
It was a little laggy there.
Yeah, just a little laggy. Hey. Thank you for the follow, AHKC. Good to have you here. And Presley has entered the studio. He's into
that
the
makes
chat.
sense. That makes sense. It's his time.
Just a reminder that the Hangout is one of many shows on Revolver Broadcasting. Oh yeah. Did you hear my name at all? I don't know if I said my name.
No. Who are you?
Oh. Yeah. My name is Joshua Cummins, and then this guy next to me, as you could see from the thumbnail, or read in the title, or maybe you're just used to seeing him from Morning Word and you really love his handsome plus face. That's Sterling Metcalfe-Allen.
Hello. Hello. Thanks for having me. I'm so glad to be here. It's first time. First time yet. So excited.
He's not used to all this techie stuff, you know.
What's this button do?
I was waiting for you to disappear for a second when you said that.
Thought about it. Almost at the power button. Not a big deal.
But the Hangout is just one of many shows on Revolver Broadcasting. What is Revolver Broadcasting, you might ask? Well, it's an entire network of shows for your entertainment, for your education, for your news, for your pure joy. And if Presley will let me stop petting him and go over here and grab the mouse, I'll be able to show you the website here in just a second. But please do follow or subscribe depending upon the platform you're viewing or listening on. And also make sure and visit our website, revolverbroadcasting.com. The website again is revolverbroadcasting.com. When you do, it shall look something like this. And you can scroll on that webpage there. See some familiar faces there. Scroll down that webpage and see some of the faces to the names of the shows. Maybe you like this show right here, The Hangout, where you just click on that Listen Here tab. And every episode ever, the live episode for whatever reason is not on there right now, but it's like sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Okay, it's just how it works sometimes. Hey Ryan, we were actually talking about you pre-show, buddy. Good things. Good things. But yeah, you can also hover where it says podcast. You see all the shows there in one place. Maybe you like Morning Word, where you usually see Sterling and I together, and you click on that tab. Every episode ever, even the one from this morning, directly from the website. You can also click on where it says News Chambers, where you'll see our daily devotionals and news stories, prayer lists, assertions. The daily devotional is written by our good friend Danny Tippett, and they're meant to deepen your faith and make you think. If you haven't already started to review some of those, go all the way back to the beginning if you haven't seen those. And so making sure that you're checking all those out. Also, the prayer list, of course. We want to cultivate a culture of prayer here at Revolver Broadcasting, so make sure you're going through and praying for those folks by name. Join our prayer warriors. And if you have a prayer request or praise report and you need to be added to the list or taken off, well, just fill out the email form there at the bottom part of any part of our webpage, and we will get you taken care of. Last but not least is the shop, where you can shop like a hot shot. Check out all the gear here that we have. Each one of these is a collection. Each one of these tabs here is a collection of shirts and hats. I don't have anything for Hangout yet, but it's coming. It's coming. Okay. Oh my God. We have to make it happen. But we have to get one with specifically with Sterling on it. Yeah. But, of course, get the Revolver Broadcasting branded stuff. That's probably the hottest stuff on our market right now. Our Revolver Broadcasting branded tee sold a few of those this last month. And anything with the Revolver Broadcasting brand, maybe like the Allen is Missing t-shirt or the I Believe Allen Squatch is Real. Mm-hmm. We got to film some more of those before summer's out, of course. And
in the wintertime, too.
Yeah,
make him walk out there barefoot.
That'll be funny. And he'd be down for it too, because Alan's a trooper. But yeah, any one of these collections here I think maybe like Morning Word because you're like this guy Sterling next to me, and so you can get any one of these t-shirts and hats and mugs and stickers and stuff from Morning Word collection. All righty, something there for everybody. Sterling is tiny.
So
But,
you can get away with when you're tiny. It's crazy.
yeah. How much can you get away with when you're there?
Well, a lot. That's right. So much.
And of course, if you guys haven't already, smash that like button. Please do that as well. Make sure you're following or subscribed, depending upon the platform you're viewing or listening on. Make sure you know that have the notification bell so you know every time we go live here at Revolver Broadcasting. Comment. I see the comments are coming into the live chat. Not only there, but also please in the comment section below. It does boost the algorithm. And I've also heard from some other folks, they say if it's 6 words or more, so it has to be 6 words or more, that's what really boosts it. So I don't know. I've heard this recently, and so I was like, hey, maybe we could test that out. Just type out, really, really think these guys are weird and strange. That works, right? Yeah. So do that.
Copy paste. Over and over and over again.
Over and over. And of course, you need to share out this content because sharing is what, Sterling?
Sharing is, in fact, caring.
He knows the drill.
I am the drill. What?
Is that what she calls it?
That took a turn.
Hey, this is the program for that. That kind of discussion. But anyway,
Gotcha. Get ready.
We're going to start off with all things Sterling. But we got to do the hardest questions first, of course.
Of course.
So and right out of the gate, man, this is probably going to be the most difficult one of all to answer. What is your favorite color?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Favorite color? That's tough. Easy answer would be like white or silver. I really like white, silver, and gold, like in a mixture or combinations. But if you can get something that's like ice blue, like that, if you go to the Antarctic or you go to like those that ice, that's probably my favorite color.
Kind of like a glowing bright blue.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's clean. It's like it's like
like what the water boy hands to gets handed by his girlfriend in the movie, right? That the water out of the glacier.
Oh yeah.
Now that's good quality. H2O.
Sounds metallic-ally. What? We sound all metallically to you guys?
Oh.
Hello. Is it metallic?
Let me listen to the stream. Sounds normal to me. That's on your end, Ryan. I'm pretty sure that Steve will tell us that we're what is it, 5x5 that he says that we're like doing all right. So
yeah, he always tells us we're doing something wrong. That's how we do. Sounds good. To me, the killer.
The color. Oh, okay. So there's like a metal color. Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds legit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's probably what I would say though. And not like dark, but I don't know, almost crystalline, but blue. Yeah. I really like that color.
All right. So I know for a fact that this is a challenging question for you because you have to narrow it down. What is your favorite book?
Man, what's my favorite book? Now, what are we considering book? We're talking like ones with words, one with pictures.
Bigger than a pamphlet, smaller than a dictionary.
Darn it. All right. I was going to go with encyclopedia. But, favorite book? Well, when I was... In my youth, I would say it was probably the Aragon book series in a general sense. So if you want to consider that a book, but now I've really gotten into like manga and stuff like that, but very, very specific on that. But besides that, really starting to like the Bible. I don't know. It's growing on me. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's like, oh yeah, that was in there. But as far as that goes, yeah, I'd say probably the Aragon series. I really enjoyed that when I was a kid. In fact, it was like a young writer. He was like 14 when he wrote that, and I was like, yeah, I could do this too. And I start writing, and it's nothing like it. It's fantastic. Crush my hopes and dreams.
But we know you still really like dragons, so that works.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Really do.
And since you mentioned the Bible, of course, and I know that we go through that together on Morning Word, of course. And but like, is there a specific book as of right now, anyway, from the Bible that you're like, this is my book?
Well, I've always been really drawn to Proverbs, and I get away from it and I always come back, and I get away from it, come back. I really like the prophetical books, but I can get too deep into those a lot of times. So I want to simplify it. I would say probably Proverb, but I second best would be like Revelation, Daniel, Ezekiel, the prophetic books. I really like those, but if narrowed it down to one, it'd probably be Proverbs, because there's just a lot of good day-to-day just wisdom in there, and a lot about the brotherhood. I'm really big about the brotherhood and those kinds of things. So yeah, Proverbs would probably be my book.
Proverbs, yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about the those prophetic books. Like, so Joel is probably up on your list of the prophetic books as well.
Joel's good. That's good. Yeah,
I know that's a big one on John's list. He really likes that book. Every time I get around, he's like, so Mr. Goebel, I was reading Joel 2 again. I'm like, again, okay. He just loves that book. But yeah. All right, and then last of these warm-up questions here. What is your favorite movie?
Dragonheart.
Hands down, huh?
Yep. There's not really anything. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but Dragonheart was my favorite movie of all time. And growing up, I don't know how many times I've seen that movie. Billions. Really enjoyed it. Don't like any of the sequels. Really, they're not that fantastic. Especially like the sixth one. It's terrible.
I had no clue there were sequels.
There's like 6 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one is the story. The second one is when he dies. Or no, second one is when he. I don't even want to talk. Third one's. And then somewhere in like the third or the fourth one, they just start dropping dragon eggs and cracking them, which is terrible. Makes me just squeal inside. Yeah, it gets pretty weird. It gets pretty crazy.
Yeah. So that's Sean Connery, right? There's in the.
Yeah, he plays Draco.
Yeah.
Knight sworn to valor. A knight sworn. It's a great film. If you haven't seen it, you're not like, I'm into fantasy or whatever. It's still pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think I'll have to sit down with you and watch it through your eyes. Yeah.
It's wonderful. I mean, the graphics of its time, I would say it's even almost far surpass the CGI stuff that they got going on right now. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just partial. I'm not sure.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I take a look back at like Spawn, the movie, live action movie, and like what that looked like in 1997. I mean, you can tell now, obviously, especially if you watch it on like a full HD television or whatever. But like for the time, like thinking that like this was 1997, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, especially the like the little like the was it like the necro whatever, the bodysuit where it starts to kind of like that's really well done. But I think that had to do with Todd McFarlane being hands on.
The anti nutcracker always gets me.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh,
you give me one of those.
All right, so now what we're going to do, Sterling, is do what we call on this show, call it retrograding. Now that's probably not the word for it, as you know, but It's the word we use anyway on the Hangout, and that's going all the way back to fresh out of the womb. And yeah, I know that takes a little while to get to, so I'm gonna let you fill in those gaps, literally, and tell us from the beginning your story.
Okay. Well, when a man loves a woman,
that's for a little, like 9 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, 9 minutes. Yeah. Fair. I don't even know what to say to that. All right. Yeah. No, I was. So my mom named Stacy. I'd love to be able to get her on there at some point in time, but she's an amazing, amazing woman. My dad was Scott, and I wish I knew where they met. I can't remember where they met. I think it was in high school, if I remember correctly. They met in high school. They dated all throughout high school. Did some crazy stuff in high school. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, and doing those crazy things in high school, my dad had to join the military. So while he was in the military, my mom was going through her pregnancy, and then she ended up moving around, so many different places because he was in the military. Just in his basic training part, he moved from somewhere first. I can't remember. It was somewhere up here, Camp Atterbury, and then moved down to Fort Polk, Louisiana for his however that works. And that's where we stayed in that way. I was born there in Fort Polk, Louisiana. That's right. Dead. I was dead in Fort Polk, Indiana, choked to death by my umbilical cord. And it's kind of a funny story, but not so funny, but kind of funny. So my dad shows up for the delivery, as a dad should.
Yeah.
And he goes in. She's struggling. I'm not coming out. Things are happening. She's screaming. He's yelling. You can relate to that? Nice.
That's because you're like, come on, Mom, 15 more minutes.
That's it. Exactly. Too early. It was me just dying, and they're like, push me out. But yeah, she was really struggling in childbirth. So it's because I was wrapped up in there, as well as if I was just how I was in there. But so she eventually delivered me. Obviously, I'm here now. But in doing so, I got very broken. I was dead on delivery, no oxygen. I was black. That was the funny part. So when I came out, I was completely black. My dad was not too happy. He thought something else.
Yeah.
He said, "What is that?" No, I was dead. So that obviously was quickly explained and everything. But they resuscitated me with the little way that they do it, the finger pushing on my chest and the air thing that they stick on my face and shaking me all over the place. I was like one of those early songs. You shake it all about, do the hokey, and that's what they're looks like some weird ritual. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Me doing that. She also didn't think that I was a boy. Yeah, at all. Because she had my sister first. And she's a couple of years older than I am. And then like, oh, it's a boy. And she's like, no, it's not. My mom's like, no, it's not. Like, what? Like, no, it's not. If it's a boy, come here and show me that it's a boy. So they did. There you go. Look, it's a boy. She didn't believe it. So, yeah. Like, thanks, Mom. Appreciate
visual
it.
Confirmation.
Yeah, she did.
Yep. Boy.
That tracks.
Hello.
Got a really great start there. I don't remember how long I was officially dead, but they brought me back pretty quick. But it did something to my brain, which we didn't really particularly find out until later on through stuff. But I was born there in Fort Polk, stayed there for a little while. We lived in I guess you would call it a trailer park here, but we lived in a mobile home of sorts. I don't remember much of that. I remember my sister falling in a hole head first. That was fun. And just staring at her. But I was tiny then. I don't remember how I remember that. But it apparently happened. I was like, did you fall in a hole when you were? Yeah, I did. It was like my legs were kicking. I was like, I remember that. Yeah.
It's very cartoonish.
Yeah, it was very funny. Yeah.
She must have really liked the rabbits. Steve said, laugh out loud. His telling, not the situation.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy there. I mean, then we moved. he went out. He went to Desert Storm and he went to something else, or before Desert Storm, he went to Desert Storm, whatever. However, the timeline of that works. We moved all over the place. I mean, just everywhere that I can. Different states, a lot of different places in those states. We settled eventually in Indiana, but I can't remember where we first started in Indiana. Where we, like, first memory that comes back. So we were having a house built, and I think I was like two or three. And we had this, I've talked about this before. We had this huge house that was being built, and I mean, it was like super cheap to build houses back then, apparently. And it was like on the very first one on this lot, and it was fantastic. We're like the head of the circle. Woo! I was very excited because it was going to be huge, and it was my castle. So, you know, you're a little kid, you're like, this is fantastic. It's my castle, especially as being a fantasy buff. It's a castle.
Yeah.
Calm down, Steve.
Yeah, you're about to be He-Man.
Yeah. Oh, running around. Had a good time there. Hurt myself quite a bit there. Some funny stories with that. Riding a bicycle. We were moving in, riding my bicycle around, training wheels, obviously. Wasn't that professional yet. Jeez, calm down. And we had all these boxes stacked up to move into the house, and I ran right into them. I was pedaling as fast as I could, looking down at my feet, because you have to look at your feet when you pedal fast. Yeah, look how fast. Right into it. Injured myself. It was not a good day for little Sterling. He was very much in pain. They had to make sure that I was still a boy. Yeah, it was not good. It was bad.
You found the bar on the bicycle.
I sure did. It was not good. There was quite a concern going on with that when I was younger, but I did so much. I got hurt so much as a kid. I don't want to reminisce about this, Josh. It's the pain. So as a baby, before I even did that craziness, they put me on a picnic table. Smart. Car seat. Fantastic. I moved too much. Rocked the thing off. Face planted on the concrete off the picnic table. Face down. It was, busted my face. As you can tell, right here. You just all of me. Exactly. Yeah, no, I fell off there. I just hurt quite a bit. But we were at that house for just a little while, as far as I can remember, and then something happened. I don't know what happened. Right at the time, at least, I didn't know what happened. I do now. It's 20-something years later, which is kind of crazy, but that's kind of how it works sometimes. But I felt like it was my fault, as kids usually do.
Oh, yeah, kids always do.
Like, what's going on? What did I do? Why is everybody yelling? There's a lot of arguing that happened, and just didn't understand, and like it had to be my fault, because a lot of stuff they were saying was about us, about me and my sister. And so my sister's name is Sienna. She's older than I am, and she's pretty cool. We got some bones to pick or whatever, but she's pretty cool. She tried to help during that whole time, but then they separated. I think I was like 3 and a half, something like that. So it wasn't there very long. Which is strange, because I have other memories about that place, about people being there that shouldn't have been there. I don't know if that was something else, but like just foreshadowing, like just seeing things.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, I guess.
Cindy's saying hi from YouTube.
Oh, hey, Cindy. What's going on? This hasn't popped up yet.
Maybe and I don't know, this is just speculation, that you seeing like remembering people being there that maybe weren't there because it was part of like your gift as a child or something for something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, that would be my guess. I'll just give you an example. We had an attic in our house. In that house, we'd always play hide and go seek, and it was one of the times we played hide and go seek. But I remember an individual being there that I didn't see until way later, like, quote unquote. And they helped me up into the attic to play hide and go seek. I was like, oh, cool. Like, who are you? I don't know who you are. All right, cool. So I went in the attic, and they never found me in the attic until they came like, where is he at? Freaking out. And then I had to come back down. But yeah, it was a fun place to play hide and go seek. If you've ever played hide and seek in a very large space and you're a tiny, tiny person, fantastic. That's what I was saying. You can get away with a lot. Like being put in a freezer for hours.
A freezer for hours, huh?
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Yeah, it was a good time. A little chilly.
Are you sure they were trying?
I don't know if they were. They may have just wanted to keep me in there. But one
of those things where it's like, oh, where is he? I can't find him.
Yeah.
What was on TV again?
You guys want to go to a picnic, see a movie? We'll be back. Bye. Yeah.
Just play the tape of them saying, "Where is he? I don't know."
Every like 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, they're close. They're close. Footsteps down. It's terrible. It's probably true.
I don't know.
Yeah. So obviously big separation there that happened. Didn't understand what was going on. And that immediate part after that time, I don't know. It's a lot of blur. It's a lot of movie and like traveling and cars and back and forth and just arguing and staying here, staying there, staying here, staying there, staying here, staying there, and just meeting a bunch of people that I didn't really know. They were friends of my dad or friends of my mom at the time, but no like serious relationships or anything. Good evening, Dormac. But then it started being real dark, real fast in my life as a kiddo. Because there wasn't really any happy times. I was trying to be happy as a kid, going from school to school to school, different schools, and from just different houses. I mean, it was like weeks at a time, days at a time. We're just in different places, and then we're with somebody else. Or it felt like, mom or dad, if you're watching, it felt like we just weren't wanted, or I wasn't wanted, and so it just tossed me back and forth between mom and dad. Well, who wants me this week? Who wants me this weekend? Who wants me? I don't want to deal with, whatever the case may be. That's how it felt. I don't know if that was the case. I doubt it was the case, but that's how it felt. And just a lot of always arguing. That was kind of my childhood, and a lot of strangers, to simplify that part. But the years kind of go on. So I meet new potential fiancés. I meet new stepmoms and stepdads. I mean, there's quite a few of those. A lot of abuse. It's too early for this.
Take your time, buddy. This is the place for that. And only share what you're ready to. Don't share nothing that you don't want to share.
Man.
Ryan says, as a single parent, he can vouch and relate with hard co-parenting situations.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I can't imagine how hard it is being the parent, but I know that it sucks being the kid. That's why, Ryan, I've told you specifically, make sure you love that kid. Don't you ever make them feel like it's their fault. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff happened. Not only kids wise, but seeing my mom or my dad going through abuse as well. I remember just vivid. It's so vivid every time I think back on it. And I became a very rambunctious kid. I mean, I was already, due to dying at birth and this thing that messed me up in the head, as far as, I don't know, deoxygenation. It couldn't, what they call like ADHD now, and what they call whatever. They didn't have any of that back when I was a kid. They're just like, let's put them on Ritalin. I think that was the kick drug at the time. Put them on Ritalin.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I thank my parents for that. They didn't do that. No, they were stern about it. And I think I love you, Mom. Love you to death. She was very understanding for the most part, and tried. They tried to put me in sports and different things at different times. And that's always rough, especially growing up. Who's going to show up at your games? That kind of scenario. Some big highlights there, if you want to call them highlights, that I remember. Just to give you a little bit more background situationally, there was a time where I think we lived in Seymour with my mom, and she was living with another lady named Mary at the time. Very bad neighborhood, which this is not, people who live in bad neighborhoods and not like, ooh. But I mean, it was like gun violence all the time outside the door. So seeing your parent with a weapon all the time, specifically your mother, that does something to you. especially when they're sitting by the door, hiding behind the door frames, peeking out the window, making sure who's knocking on the door next. We have people come by all the time, asking for money or drugs or.
As they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. As weird as that sounds, it really does happen.
It doesn't sound weird to me at all. I grew up in that kind of element, so
right. I'm just people who are not in that element. Like, no, that doesn't. Yeah,
it does.
Actually, it does.
I can vouch.
It's weird, crazy.
Yeah.
So, and she'd always keep that gun underneath her pillow. I knew exactly where it was. That tiny little kid that I was. I'm like, yeah. I don't know how many times I messed with that thing and played with that thing. I know it's stupid looking back on it, but as a kid, it's like, well, if mom goes down, I'm going to have to pick this up, so I always waited it out and stuff like that. So that was a big one. My dad's side, during that same time frame, it was, I don't know where, I think it was on the other side of Seymour, funny as that sounds. Yeah, Darmac. Okay, well, hey, listen, the more you know, right? The more people that are out there. You're not alone kind of scenario. He was just out of the military a couple of years, still doing his exit stuff and trying to figure out his, what do they call it? It's the care for the military. Why can't I not remember that? Vets?
Like VA?
VA. He's trying to figure out his VA stuff. And that was a whole fiasco, being little, trying to figure out, what do you mean, Dad? And then being raided by the FBI. I was there for this. They came and took all of his guns because I don't even know. I never did get to figure that out. Came and took all of his weapons and he eventually got some of them back. That was scary as all good. He was with the lady, her name. She was strange. We had a kitty cat. That's like my first memory of having a cat. That cat sucked, by the way. Like, there's Squash, and then there's this demon child that needs to be put down. Like, it was bad. It only loved one person, and everyone else could just go burn in a hole somewhere. Like, not even kidding. That was nuts. You would have looked at this cat. It was possessed by something. It had to have been possessed by something.
Most cats are, actually.
Okay, well, I'm not sure we're in the same place here.
When you get a good one, it's yeah. Those are the far
between.
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember that. And it was kind of strange because a lot of times in these relationships, my sister and I weren't always together, which that kind of sucked. A lot of times we were, which was fantastic, but a lot of times we weren't. So that goes up until probably just maybe 5 or 6. So just a couple of years and a lot of experience, a lot of boyfriends, a lot of marriages that we had to go through, which is it was one of the things that I always thought about as a kid. And it's like, man, it's just, I had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
In
that environment. Yeah.
Yep. I had to grow up real fast. So I was like, why even like people? Like this is where my road started to go.
That's south. That's a fair thought process, though. I mean, given the situation, it's a fair thought process.
Yeah, I didn't like people. I didn't like anyone except for my parents and my sister, and I felt super protective of them, like super protective, like overly protective. For example, there was this guy that was taller than you, Josh. He was how tall was he? 7'1". He was 7'1".
Definitely taller than me. I'm only 5'2".
Yeah, he was 7'1". His name was Brad. I think he was 7'1". I'll have to ask my mom again. He was almost, if he wasn't 7 foot, he was 7'1". He played for Franklin College football. He was attacking my mother. They, at the time, I'd never asked her about it again. At the time, she said that they were just messing around, but it didn't look like that to me. So I attacked him. He didn't like that. And I think maybe the 25th time that one of the men and step men in our family, however you want to call that, in my mom's house, raised his hand to me. I didn't care. I just stood there and held my ground. My mom did what she normally does, and don't do. He's just protecting his mom. Blah 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 blah, and then they just get out of here, kind of scenario, and then they go, back at it or whatever was happening. So Yeah, just a couple times. I'm a little proud of some of those instances. There's a guy named Elijah. Love this dude. Okay, I didn't like him at the time. I loved him a little bit later, and then I loved him even more when I got old enough to actually understand. But I'm skipping a little bit of stuff. But he called my mom the B word once.
Mm.
I broke his nose. This big. Got him. Yeah, broke his nose. He was ticked too. But I was like, you don't call my mom. Yeah.
Mm.
And he was all mad about it too. And he's like, well, you called his mama this. So yeah, I'm proud of that one. Real proud of that one. Little old dude, had like 3 feet to jump. Jumped it. They say tiny kids can't jump. Lie. Pretty sure that's how that saying goes.
Well, I mean, you're always going to want to stand in the gap for your parents, right? So,
yeah. I mean, especially when you feel like I'm going through all that, you think it's somehow your fault. And you're like, well, I got to stand up. I got to do something more than, because if I don't want them to leave me, so I have to provide this thing, whatever it is that I can as a child somehow, whether that's love, attention, or, comfort, because there's so much of that. That's crying and the what ifs and the very dark times when the gun is no longer used for protection of what's outside. The gun is used for the darkness inside. And you're like, what are you doing with this? Sitting in the room all alone, and then you sit next to them with this in the dark all alone. And yeah. We had a lot of animals though. So there was a lot of comfort in it. I think that's where I got the love of animals that I have, because they were the only thing that kind of didn't scream and judge you all the time or make you feel a certain kind of way. They just loved you. They just give you kisses. They loved you belly rubs. We had a basset hound. I love this basset hound. He's like, he was my favorite at the time. His name was Budweiser, because that's what was everywhere in our house. A lot of times, there was a lot of alcohol all the time, but he was fantastic. But the next door neighbors ended up killing him. They poisoned him. So that was just the kind of neighborhood we lived in, which I should have known. So then we moved on to a raccoon. That's right. I said a raccoon. I had a pet pigeon at the time because I shot it with a BB gun, and I was recovering it because I shouldn't have shot it with a BB gun. So I got in trouble for that. So I had to heal it back then. Well, you shot it, you're going to take care of it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. So I learned the responsibility there. But we had a raccoon, and the raccoon was one of my mom's exes, obviously now, but ex-husband or husband at the time. His name was Scott as well. He has a crazy story. But he loved him, and it jumped off at him one day when I had the pigeon in a doghouse. It ran into the doghouse. Feathers flying out, all this craziness. I'm like, no! Pigeon walks out. It's like, oh, the pigeon won. No. The raccoon just let it go for like 5 seconds and then grabbed it and pulled it back in. I was like, oh no. It was awesome. It was one of those like heroic moments, like the bird won. And then it just into nothingness. Yeah. Because raccoons are vicious and terrible creatures. We had to let that one go. We took it out to the woods and let it go. But yeah, man, there's a lot of stories like that. That was where I first learned how to dress a deer with that guy that she was with, because he brought it home, strung it up to the tree out back, and hey, come here. Okay, I'm coming here. What are we doing? You need to learn how to do this. I don't even know you. Okay, we're doing this. You take this knife. All right, took the knife and slip. Cut the thing open, cut through the muscle and the skin, and don't go too deep though. You don't want to pierce any of the organs or the intestines because that ruins the meat. Okay, blood, guts all over me is you sometimes, and I think that was kind of cool. Like that was like one of the learning something. I always ran around with pocket knives and stuff and cut myself open all the time on everything. If there was a 9-foot fence, I was jumping off of it with a knife in my hand. I'm just saying. Like my mom will tell you this story over and over and over and over again. She loves it. Or doesn't love it. I probably didn't love it at the time. Yeah. Coming inside like, Mom, my hand fell off. Like, what? Look. Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's just so many injuries. It's just nuts how just rambunctious of a kid I really was. Looking back at it, I'm like, man, all these scars. But your scars tell a story, whether that's physical or spiritual or whatever, mental. So we'll skip forward a little bit. A lot happened in between there. A lot of names I just don't remember. A lot of relationships that I do remember. Not a lot of good. There's not a lot of good. There just wasn't a lot of good. I really hate to say that, but there really wasn't. I grew further and further and further apart from people. I would like go to these different schools and I didn't have any friends. I don't want to have any friends because I knew I'd have to leave those friends like soon. Like it's just going to happen. I'm going to change schools again. So about 8. Interestingly enough, I'll just go back. I'll give some credit. I should give you some credit here. We were in and out of church all throughout my youth. And it was like a thing. Like, even though this crazy stuff's going on, we need to go to church. Okay. So I was in and out of church during that time. When I was 8 years old, we were going to, well, it moved, but it used to be IBT back before it got that old crazy thing happened. Moved over to one of the college dorm buildings next to I think it was a Kmart at the time, whatever it was. Anyway, and preacher was doing a message on, what they call it? The wheat and the rye, I think, is what the old salvation story. You'll separate the wheat from the rye. Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah, wheat from the chaff. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, he talked about that. That hit me some kind of way, and I, at that point in time, surrendered to God because I didn't know what else to do. I was so caught up in everything else, and I was like, I don't know, Lord, if nobody wants me, and you say that you do, and you're telling me that you do, then please, I need some sort of comfort here because I put on a good facade or whatever face for everybody else, but I'm low. I'm really low. So I accepted the Lord at that time. Felt a just crazy amount of relief, and I was bawling my little eyeballs out, and I was getting congratulated by all these individuals. And there was the youth pastor at the time, whose name was Mike. He's the one that led me, like walked me through it. And I was like, oh, cool. My dad was happy. And at the time, my dad was with a lady named Dawn, which I'm still kind of in contact with her. She's the mother of my younger sister, Sydney, who's grown up now. She's got her own kid. I don't even know. She's got the world just keeps moving. It's crazy.
It does that.
As I was with her, and then I was part of the youth group. I talked about this a little bit with you, I think. Gosh, I was in the youth group, but I wasn't really part of the youth group. And I had like this different calling of a sort after this moment to become a bigger part of the youth group that I was in, and that's kind of where I started to meet up with a best friend of many, many years. So 8 years old, accepted the Lord, was strong. You know how that goes. So you're strong. Yeah, I'm doing this. I'm going to learn more. I'm going to find out more, figure out about this guy who loves me. And then I'm going to tell everybody else because I feel really good. You get that fire. Yeah. So that didn't last too long. Unfortunately, it didn't last too long. It was my own fault per se, because I could have kept it going. But environmentally speaking, a lot of other stuff was going on, and it took a toll. And I walked away from that. Yeah. And kind of just forgot about it. That's whatever. We still were kind of going to church, but it didn't mean the same to me. It was just routine. Have to go. Maybe I'll go see a friend, or maybe I'll go see whatever. It was one of those like bigger churches too, so it was not as relationship wise. I don't know. My dad knew everybody. Don knew everybody. My sister knew everyone. My sister is like the most. I talk to everyone, people. Like she went a different route than I did somehow. I don't know how she did it. She went this way, I went that way, but yeah, she's just a people person. She's out there. She's outgoing. She's intelligent, smart. Not saying I'm not intelligent or smart, but she just, she had it. She was like, this is what life is. I don't care. I'm gonna do this. But she always told me, looking back, she'd always tell me that she's like, I felt how you felt. Like, I wanted to do all these things that you're saying. Like, as I put yourself in this position. She's like, but I just didn't care anymore. It's like, oh, okay. Fair enough, I guess. Didn't do me really any good, to stay in that position. But
everybody processes different. So,
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So started to have some more stability as far as the home after that. When he married Dawn, and we were with her for a little while, which I didn't even know. But she was not happy with us. She didn't feel that we were treating her, I mean, she's a stepmom, so that's not like an excuse, but we didn't treat her like a mom. She didn't feel like she's being respected, so on and so forth. However, which I can't imagine how that would be to be a step parent. That would be hard. I feel like so. And I told her, and I told every, this may have been bad of me or mean of me. I told every stepmom, stepdad, you're not my mom and you're not my dad. Don't act like it. Whatever. And I tried to love them. I really did. I just was a mad kid. It's just a mad kid. Some of them I really cared about, and then they just leave. And then I find out what happened or why they left. I'm like, oh, why did I love them in the first place? Because that's just, messed up or sick or fill in blank, which that tears you apart. When you devote time to somebody, when you devote time to somebody and then they get ripped away, and then you're like, well, maybe this time. You devote time to somebody and then they get ripped away. You're like, well, what is, then somebody else comes along and you're like, do I give this another chance? Do I really try? So, I mean, from 8 to, I believe it was around 11. Let's see, what would be, 11. That separation from people grew as far as it could possibly go. Instead of like just avoiding people, I turned against people, just even if they were trying to be nice. Not good on me, for sure. I just didn't want to be hurt anymore. I didn't want to hurt anymore. Like, I was just so much hurt. And that's a very selfish thing to say, but I think it's a very understandable thing to say. I'm not trying to make it an okay thing.
Absolutely understandable.
When you hurt a lot. Yeah. When you hurt a lot, you're like, well, I don't want to hurt anymore. And that's why I understand the idea of, not wanting to hurt anymore.
Yeah.
I get it. And trust me, that even at that young age and going through seeing my mother or my dad in similar situations, just the lack of description there, it crossed my mind quite a few times, even at a very young age. But I was always told this by other family members who were outside of my mom and my dad. That's a very selfish thing to do. It's a very selfish thing to do. It's a very selfish thing to do. I'm like, oh, okay. And that was, take your own life. It's a very selfish thing to do. Because you're only thinking about yourself. You're not thinking about everybody else. When it happens when you leave, everybody else is going to be saying, okay. So I never did. So about 11 or 12, I met my best friend of the time. And that kind of set me a little bit different path. Because like, all right, I'm going to attach to this person. And I did. It just wasn't the greatest thing to attach to at the time. Because he was much older than me. He was in my sister's class. So I say much older, but 3 years, give or take.
Yeah.
As far as grades go. So, you got elementary into middle school and then you're stuck there and then they're already in high school kind of thing. Yeah. So he was much older than me and much more. He was like my sister, but times 1,000. He was very outgoing. Still is. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm the quiet one. He's the outgoing one. This will work. We got in way too much trouble. I won't even go down that road. We got into way too much trouble about just everything. We just this stupid stuff. Nothing like crazy, but yeah, I got introduced to a lot of things I shouldn't have been just because he was older. That put me on routes I should never have been on. And then those routes kind of started bad habits, that continued on for quite a while. So, man, yeah. So then my dad and Dawn broke up. My mom, whoever she was with, they broke up at some point in time during that period as well. I think she was with that Scott guy still, but then it's just a lot of people and a lot of names. I mean, there's Roy. Oh my goodness gracious. Roy had sons, and one of his sons, I was in the house. I wasn't outside when it happened. They had not a trailer. I don't know what it is. Like one of those things you drag behind your truck, but it's livable.
Oh,
It's not like the big ones.
Yeah. Like an Airstream.
Yeah. His kids were in there, and one of them put an empty shotgun shell into a shotgun and put it to his brother's head. I was inside, pulled the trigger, and killed him. The shotgun shell, which I didn't know was possible. The empty shotgun shell, it had the powder in it still, but didn't have any, no pellets or anything. So the piece of plastic from the shotgun. Everybody knows what shotgun shell is.
Shard, probably.
It went right through his head. I was like, what? Yeah, that was not a great day.
No,
not a great day at all. And then I didn't understand. I was like, how? What? And then having to talk him, because he was drinking himself to death, basically. Locked himself in the truck. Everybody else left because they didn't know what else to do. So I stayed, left me alone. That's fantastic. And I kept trying to find a way into the back of his truck because it was like one of those old trucks. They have that back little slide window. He locked that, and the windows and the doors, and he just was in there. He's just going to die. He's just going to drink himself to death. Just experiences that you don't really expect a kid to deal with. But I know everybody goes through something like this. I'm not trying to put my story on any sort of pedestal or anything. But this is my story. People are crazy. And I got to see them. I got to see so many crazy people, which made me think that I'm crazy. So I ended up having to take crawling lessons because that was the treatment for my diagnosis of being whatever I was, because you didn't crawl enough as a kid. So I take crawling lessons, and I don't know. I've talked to my mom about this recently. In fact, they didn't realize at the time. Obviously, I can't ask my dad now, but this lady, I don't know if it was just a spoof thing or what, but I mean, it was the doctors recommended it, and then it went to her, but she wasn't doing very good things with these kids, and I'm included in there. But she rewards you with calendars. So like, it was like, oh, okay, I get a calendar if I crawl around and do this, or crawl around and do that, or let her do this or do that. I have a lot of calendars. In fact, a lot of them are on the walls in here. So I really liked calendars for some obscure reason after that, because they just, masked everything else. So yeah, that was the cure to apparently my diagnosis, but obviously it didn't do anything. I struggled all throughout school. I mean, like, I don't know how I made it through even elementary. I barely passed anything, if I passed anything. They just kind of push you through.
Oh yeah.
Back then. And they still kind of do now. It's a little bit different, but elementary, they just kind of push you through. Then you hit middle school, and they kind of care a little bit more. Yeah. So that was kind of crazy. And then my dad met the next big one, we'll just put it that way, would have been Chan. And this was his mail order bride, I think is what they would call them.
Okay.
He met her online. She lived in Japan. She wanted her green card.
Yeah.
He brought her over, that whole thing. Which is, yeah. And then we moved a lot. We moved over in the Southport area here in Indy, Southport area. Lived in a pretty cool house, but at this point I was pretty devastated with just another relationship. That was like, Dawn was one of the longer relationships that really got attached. And then she's gone. And then there was just no contact. It wasn't good at all. And the hearing that it was my fault again. Well, the kids didn't respect me. The kids didn't show this. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Again, you're thinking it's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault. So yeah. So that just continued to grow and grow and grow and callous and grow and grow and callous and grow and grow. It's another layer and over another layer. Everything was just my fault. It was always my fault.
CFAM said breaking someone's trust can completely break that person, especially a child or teenager. And she's sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah. Yeah. It was very strange seeing, just hearing that, because it was me, my sister, and him. Oh, cool. Finally, dad time. Because that was the other thing, is I guess never got to spend any time with my dad. It was always, he was with this other person. And it even got worse. It got so much worse when Chan came into the picture because it's a different culture. Maybe we can use that as an excuse. I don't even know. But she came over. I was confused. Like, oh, hi, hey, happy, tiny little person. It's very small. How you doing? Oh, and she's cool. She speaks Japanese, and she liked Pokemon and different things like that, because that's kind of, started. I don't know if anybody knows. And she's just showing me all this different stuff. It was really cool. Then new foods and things, but then it was like, you have to eat this food. And I'm like, well, I don't want to eat that. That's kind of gross. It's like, what are we having today? It's just pickled cabbage. What? It's just pickled cabbage. That's what we're gonna eat. Oh, okay. Which is hilarious. If my other friend Chris was here, he was there that night. He got to suffer through that with me. You must eat all of it. More? I don't want any more pickled cabbage, please.
Oh my goodness, pickled cabbage. Oh,
dude, yeah.
Oh.
That's all it was. I mean, okay, so it was a plate, and it was literally a mound of pickled cabbage. That was dinner.
Oh,
I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
So good times.
I mean, the way you feel about coffee is the way
Dude,
I feel about pickled cabbage.
I understand. Trust me, I feel that way about pickled. That's probably why I don't like coffee. Everything just goes back to pickled cabbage.
I guess.
Like, ugh, pickled cabbage. That's coffee. Ugh.
I don't see the similarities at all.
I know you don't. It's about the smells and comes out the same. No, I don't know.
That part is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Same effect on the tummy. Yeah.
Dude, truly.
Yeah, very diuretic.
Truly.
Taco Bell is bad.
Pickled cabbage is a whole nother beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned a lot about like tofu and sticky beans, which is a Japanese delicacy thing where it's just in this tiny little packet, and the beans look like throw up. And it looks like something from Aliens. If you've ever seen the Aliens movie and like the tendrils that come off the weird eggs and stuff, that's the bean and the stickiness. You eat that. You go. Gross. Okay. Yeah. And you put this really hot, spicy mustard stuff on it because that makes it supposedly taste better.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay. And then you feel it. Yeah.
Should have turned like, this is called a Dorito. It will change your life.
Yeah. That's when I started to figure out that I was lactose intolerant because I was always sick and stuff and always had chapped lips, and like that's how it affected my body. So I had to switch then. So it was a whole bunch of different kinds of milks, rice milks and almond milks and chai milk things and whatever. None of that really worked. I always just went back to I was drinking like a gallon of milk a day or more. I loved milk. Loved it. I don't know why, but I did.
I think it's a young guy thing because I did a lot of that too. Like me and my cousins, my brother. Yeah. Like I think it's just a young guy thing. It's like a real attachment to.
Yeah. Some milk can make you strong.
Yeah.
Strong bones. Protein.
The propaganda worked in those commercials.
Really did. Took over my life. I'm like 98% milk now. Yeah, but some point in time during that, I think it was probably earlier than that, but I ended up getting hurt, broke my hip, which took a big kind of toll thing. Broke my hip. There was no fix for a broken hip at the time. They just walk it off. That's what I was told. Walk it off. So I went into the hospital. They used this weird butterfly needle thing, which I'll never. That's why I hate needles. Like I have a very big aversion to needles now. So there's a needle, has like little wings on the sides of it, little plastic wings, and you push it. And when you push it, more needles come out. Mm-hmm. It stuck that in me. I was like, oh, I'm not doing this. And then they're like, yeah, well, your hip is broken. So it was a V shape. I don't know, V shape break. The bone's gone. We don't know where it went. What do you mean it don't know where it went? It's got to be in there. Yeah, couldn't find it. Okay, cool. So I had to walk it off, and that was really great. So that was the start of my hip injuries, I guess, or bodily injuries. Bigger. I mean, I broke my nose playing baseball. That was terrifying. Line drive to the face. I mean, I had the mitt. I've got this. You're going to get out, buddy. Hit the mitt, rolled right up. You know how mitt is. Floop. Just crush. And it just spray.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Threw my head down. When you throw your head down, it's like on the ground. Splash. funny part about this, my mom was there, my dad was there at the time. The nurse for the team, I know I'm skipping around a lot, but just try to stick with me. The nurse of the team said, "Oh, look at me. I'm bleeding everywhere. Oh, he's fine. Don't send him back in the game." My mom was like, "What? No, do you not see this? And his nose isn't right."
Yeah. It's doing like a Owen Wilson thing.
How do you do it? Yeah. Just every alphabet letter? Yeah, it was crazy. But I ended up going back into the game anyway, like a couple innings later. Yeah, I broke my nose, broke my hip. I broke my hip because my sister threw me off of a workout machine onto a couch, bounced off the couch, hit a table, hit the floor. It was kind of comical, you know.
So she was trying to get you into the hoop.
I think so. Through a glass table. Yeah. She was really trying hard. Almost made it. Yeah, but that messed me. I was in a lot of pain for a long time for that. But I mean, I still have a fight with the limp and stuff like that now, but it hurts when weather changes and all that. But it healed up for the most part now. I'm okay.
Except for the missing bone that's just
I don't even know where that's at. Yeah.
It's just floating around in your body.
What in the world?
One of these days.
It's just going to pop up like right here. I'm going to have a giant V on my... I'm going to be Vision. Shooting laser beams. But we moved from there. I think at the time my sister was graduating. She was graduating from Southport. I had just gone in. But she graduated. She moved out. We moved again to Whiteland, still with Nate Chan. I was still back and forth with my mom, but I was mainly living with my dad at this time, which I left all that out. But you can imagine just the going back and forth there. I was living with my dad for the most part there, and we moved in this new house, and everything changed with her. She became like very, I don't know, crazy. I don't know if it was something that happened between them or what, but I couldn't hang out with my dad at all. We also had Hope and Faith at this time. My sister took Faith, who was our Australian Shepherd. We actually had them back when we were at Dawn, so kind of transferred. I missed that, but Hope was like my tether to this world, if you will. Like, she was the only reason that I got through any of the stuff that I got through during that time up until I'm still at this point now. We're moved into the Whiteland area. But she wasn't allowed to hang out with me anymore. She had to stay in the kitchen at all times. She couldn't walk around the house. She couldn't go to my room. She had to stay in the kitchen on the tile floor because she didn't want to clean it up. She didn't want to clean up her hair. She didn't want to deal with any of the mess, blah, 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 blah.
It's a golden retriever, right?
Yes, Hope. A fantastic dog. She's awesome. So sweet. She was... Yeah. And the sad part about this, and I know this is probably gonna hurt some people's feelings, and maybe they'll think differently about me or whatever, but I've asked forgiveness 100 million times for this, and I've finally gotten over it. But a lot of my anger on that poor dog at times, she didn't care. She stayed. She stayed right by me, and yeah, I'm just gonna be honest about it, but I loved her to death. I mean, she was it. I still have her collar. I wore her collar after she passed away. I don't even know how long. Oh man, such a good dog. But yeah. So I just couldn't do it. She'd sweep the floor. I couldn't walk across the floor because she didn't want footprints in the carpet. So my life for the next 2 years there, because I ended up graduating from Whiteland. It was my junior and senior year there, as in my room. On almost all the times. Every time I want to hang out with Dad, she'd come and take him from me and take him back up to the room. But it was during this time, and even I'll go back and explain some other things, but it was during this time that the spiritual realm or spiritual warfare, put it that way, got to the point of it was just too much for me. And the reason I mean that is, like I said, I'll go back, but it kind of exploded. So one day at this house, I was getting closer to graduating. I was having a dream in my room, as typical. The only thing I could do is hang out in my room and dream, so I dreamed in there often. Now this experience with the devil, this wasn't the first time. Like I said, I'll go back. This time, kind of scared me a little bit, but not so much. The scary part was seeing your loved ones being in pain and being caused a lot of pain. This is what's going to happen to your mother and your father if you don't sign this paper. You sign this thing. I was like, wow, okay, this is kind of strange. And it was a lot leading up to that. It was me walking down this very dark, so it was just dark everywhere. One road, and the road was red, and there was just flames licking on both sides, and it led to this circle. And in this circle was this was Satan behind this podium with this very old looking piece of parchment looking thing, and I had to asked me to sign in blood and all this different stuff. He's like, I can make all this go. So the picture that he showed me was my dad being hung by hooks and my mom being hung by hooks and basically being torn apart slowly. And slowly. He's like, I can make all this end. I can make all this end. The funny thing was Nate Chan wasn't in there. Okay. That's what I was thinking. I was like, where the heck is Nate Chan? Because I saw my dad. I was like, oh, Nate Chan. Nope, my mom. So I was like, oh, sign this paper. All it takes, all this can go away. All you got to do is just give us your soul. All you got to do is just give us your soul. And it's like, oh, that's kind of a weird way to put this is just me and you here. But realized there was another little thing, which I'll describe as like an imp or something next to him. And they kept conversing about other things, about the secrets that were in my life. And they would use that against me. They would converse in secrets. I was like, that's kind of strange. How do they know? How do they know? But then I was like, oh, well, yeah, they know. It makes sense. But they try to use that against me. Like, oh, yeah, you want this. And at the time also I was very interested in acting. I had just gotten through my clowning class. I was thinking about moving into the theater scene. And that's when the contract is going to be, put up. Hey, you going to be part of this? Sure. You get to, sign a line. So it made sense in a way looking back on it. But at the time I had no clue. I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not signing this. I've been through this before. Obviously this one was a little bit more extreme. So I'm not saying this. You can't have me. I already belong to somebody else, because I'd already, been saved when I was 8, and I built that relationship back and forth and fell in and out of it quite a bit.
It was to an understanding that you belong to God, regardless.
Exactly. Yeah. I've left out quite a bit of stuff. Like I said, I'll go back in a minute. This is how my brain works. And like I said, if you can follow with me, I appreciate it. I hope I don't
it's
know
how most of the hangouts go. Is
too much.
It's so far along, and then you have to kind of skip ahead to go back.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino storytelling.
Yeah, kind of. It'll make more sense, I think. I'm not doing it intentionally. It's kind of how it's just flowing out, and then it makes me remember other things. But so like, no, I can't have it. It already belongs to somebody else. He got so mad that the thing that was standing next to him, again, I'll describe it as an imp. He grabs it and just rips it apart, and it screams and it hisses and makes a lot of sense. And he got really mad. He grabs me and picks me up, pulls me out. Like the darkness fades away. It's just me and him, and it's burning me. He's so hot. He's just burning me. And burning me. It hits me in the stomach with his other hand. And like, I just kind of felt like he was just trying to go, through me. And burning me. So I ended up waking up, and I had a burn on my neck and on my stomach. Whether that was mentally created or not spiritually created, or however you want to put that, which is, in my opinion, it was definitely spiritually created, but I'll leave that up.
Yeah.
That I ran.
Yeah, you can definitely go one way or the other, man, because the mind believes it so strongly that it can manifest it.
Yeah. So I ran over to my dad's room, swing over the door. Dad, you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. What's going on? Let's go. I had a nightmare. He's like, oh, we'll just go back to bed. I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right. So I never told him about it until way later, because he didn't seem to care. Every time I tried to bring up anything spiritual, he didn't really care. The only thing he ever told me, and which was interesting, in that house, he came to talk to me one night. He opened my door and he shut the door, and I was like, that was kind of weird. So I asked him, I was like, hey, Dad, what was that about? He's like, when I was a kid, when I was living with his dad at the time, which was my grandfather, Larry, he had some being of light open his door and tell him to get ready. You need to get ready. And then to say anything else. Like, that's the only spiritual encounter I had. For some reason, I wanted to come over to your door, and I opened the door to see if you're okay. I felt like some sort of connection, blah, 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 blah. He's like, you all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. So like, oh, okay. It's a little off-putting. I don't know what that meant exactly, but I'll throw that out there as well. But then him and Nate Chan broke up. I didn't understand that either. It was like almost graduation day kind of thing. Me getting like, yeah, cool. I can finally start doing this and that and another. Now they broke up. And I'll jump back a little bit here. During their breaking up time, I ended up having to move in with my sister to finish school. So I was living with her, which she was living with another man. When she moved out, she lived with this guy, and they weren't married at the time, which is very crazy because the guy that she's with or was with is the best friend of the man that my mom is married to now. Yeah.
Yeah, wild.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think he was like 13 years older than my sister at the time. So it wouldn't change, obviously, but you get the idea. So I was living with them. I had to walk to school every day, and I usually would get splashed or whatever because I had to walk. I had to walk back and forth the hell every day. I had to lay outside of the school too when my dad was driving me to school because he had to get to work so early. I had to lay out on the bench in front of the school because it was such far. I couldn't walk it and so on and so forth. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy things that happened there. But they broke up. I found out that he was actually seeing somebody while they were still together where he was working, and her name was Michelle, which I've talked quite a bit with Josh about Michelle. And then my mom was still with this same guy, the best friend of the guy that my sister is with. And she's still with him now. Yeah, so kind of strange, but they're still together. They've been married, I think, almost 20-something years now. So it works, I guess.
This one's sticking. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my sister's with somebody else that we went to school with a suburban that they knew, and then that's a whole nother thing. It's her story to tell. But yeah, so they broke up, and I was like, oh, okay. So then I went and lived back with my mom. I was living with my sister, finished school, had to move back in with my mom because my dad moved to Metropolis. It's like a fancy place with lights and cool. It's like Superman or whatever, you know. It's like Metropolis, you know. Really cool town. I couldn't go with them because I was working at Dairy Queen at the time, which is next door to where my mom lived. So I moved in with her, and it wasn't a good situation to start. My mom and her husband Charlie, their relationship wasn't good to start. Not good at all. In fact, a lot of bad times. A lot of police were called. I got kicked out. How that works? I got kicked out of the house. I don't even know where I stayed. I moved in with. I think I moved back in with my sister for just a little while until everything settled down. He just was a very angry person. It's like that saying where, like, you really know how to pick them. You got a type kind of thing. That was just looking at it. This person and that person and this person and that person and this person. And I'm like, man, that's. Anyway, he's a lot different now, and thank the Lord for it. He's a really good man. He's grown up a lot, and it's kind of weird to say that because he's much older than me, but he's matured a lot. He go to church. He still has his moments, as everyone does, but a lot better, and I'm so thankful for that. Really loves my mom, even though sometimes stuff happens that makes you question it, and I'm like, I don't want to jump back into that protective mode, but it is what it is. My dad, on the other hand, kind of disappeared, and that really hurt. Me and my dad were really, really close. Like all throughout, even through the crazy, we were still really, really close. My sister was really close to my mom. I was really close to my dad. So he left in like complete total separation, and his excuse was, well, I've got a new family now. I got you. You graduated. You're good. I'm gonna go new family, because he ended up having a kid, his first kid, with this lady, and which was kind of crazy, because I think one of them is younger than my daughter right now. Still, I think. But anyway, just hearing that hurts. Well, I'm still your family and all this different stuff. So I started going to college. He kind of vouched for me on the college with the loan stuff or whatever. Something happened with me going. I missed coming back in I didn't know how long the break was. I tried to figure out how long the break was. I come to find out that I missed the time to come back. I'd missed too much. all this different crazy stuff. So he got real mad about that. And I think that was a big turning point as far as our relationship goes, because he blamed me for, I was like, I didn't know. I didn't understand. I didn't understand what's going on with all of this college stuff. I can't mentally comprehend a lot of things. It takes a lot of time for me to comprehend things, and patience from people. And if you look at my school, you'd understand that. I mean, I'd come home from school. This is one of the reasons I really love my dad. I really loved him. He really cared. Is he'd spend like 6-8 hours with me after he gets off work, trying to help me with my homework and stuff, because I just couldn't comprehend it. I really thank him for that. But that didn't carry over to this instance, because he was just mad. So they ended up like taking his like tax check or something to pay for whatever the fees were and stuff. And he's mad about that. And then something else happened that kind of exploded and broke the whole family apart. That involved don't speak ill of the dead kind of situation. I'm trying to figure out if I want to talk about it or not.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. Like, I know because I've known this about you. So it's not that you don't grasp concepts; it's that you learn differently.
Yeah.
And that was not fair to you. They didn't have these methods that widely available. It's like, I know that I went to school with a lot of kids that learn the exact same way you do, but in the schools that I attended, they had these different programs that you could go into because you learned it differently, and found out that it's just, you just learn differently. You just the same level as everybody else was around you. It was just because some kids are more visual learners, some kids are more like they only really grasp if it's straight up auditory. Some kids have to write everything down.
Yeah.
Like some of the smartest kids I ever encountered, they had to write every single thing. Like everything had to be in notes, and notepad after notepad after notepad. So in well, especially after like everything with Revolver, right? Like, because I teach, teaching you, teaching the other people, like I realized, oh, Sterling learns differently. So it wasn't that you didn't grasp things, you just learned a different way. So I had to twist my teaching style and go, okay, now that my teaching style matches up with his learning style, now things are gelling, right? And I think you can agree on that because it does, yes, it does take patience, but it's once you take that patience and take that time, it's like I know I watched you learn things that I still haven't been able to teach Alan, and yeah, uh, Alan and I are very similar. Maybe that's the problem there too, but but I know that he learns the way I learn, and still,
Yeah.
like, I've showed him things, and the grasp is not there. But being able to be patient, so and I watched you excel. So I think that it was just a matter of the the right tools were not there for your education. If I may,
Yeah, no, I 100%. I maybe 75%, or maybe even 25%. Because I know a lot of it's me too, because of how I was treated, which I shouldn't have been, how it affects you, but your experiences truly do affect you. Is I let that stuff get to me. I was told, hey, this is how you are. This is how this is. Why can't you learn? I mean, that's one of the things that my dad used to say to me, and that really hurt a lot. He would take the time. He really would. He was super, I mean, he's super smart. My dad was crazy smart. My sister is crazy smart. My mom is crazy smart. I just didn't get that. Whether that was from, being choked to death as a kid or whatever. Okay. But that would be one of the things he would say. And I don't think he knew how hurtful it was, but he's like, why can't you get this? Like, that was his thing. He's like, I've explained it to you, and he would explain it to me, and he'd write it down. Here's the process. Then he'd take it away from me. He's like, okay, now you do it. And I'm like, that would be it. Like, I don't know. I'm already lost it. I've already lost it. And
there again, you just what you just spelled out. He tried to show you a conventional way of doing things. It's the way everybody else learns.
yeah,
The way like, because 80% of everybody learns a certain kind of way, but there's these different kinds of brain types that learn completely differently. Like,
yeah,
well, I know for me, like elementary school, They were like, he seems he's disruptive, but he seems to be really smart. But he's like always talking to the other kids, like he doesn't. And it wasn't until they tested me, and they're like, oh, he's actually really smart, but he just like
Yeah.
he's too fidgety. He can't pay attention, and like so that reoccurred for me throughout school too. So because like in high school, didn't apply myself, so therefore because I didn't feel challenged, so there and even with being in the AP courses and all that stuff, so it just the right tools weren't there. The right that's that I'm it's the same thing. Like he's saying, why can't you get this? Because he's still thinking you learn conventionally when he doesn't realize that because it wasn't never a thing for a lot of people to realize that some people just really do learn differently.
Yeah. There's
We're finding
that's
more and more about that now.
well, yeah. I mean, that's the whole start with like the ADHD thing and all the different attention deficits or the OCDs and all that stuff. Like it just wasn't. It was the start of those. This wasn't the. I didn't get into those or whatever. Which a lot of people would say, "Well, you could go back now and you could get diagnosed." I'm like, well, what's the point? I don't want a label. I know what I am now, and I know how I have to work through things. I was like, I don't want an excuse for something else. So I don't want to be pills.
Yeah, no need for that. You got the word.
So, so yeah, he moved away. That was rough. And then I ended up meeting her again later because they had the kid or whatever, and I knew she was crazy. And it was another bad relationship. He just went from one to the other, just like my mom did. She's still in the relationship she's in now, but he just kept going. And no matter what I would say to him, it didn't matter because that's love is blinding or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of just grew further and further apart. And then this incident came up with my younger sister at first, who was hurt by an individual that my older sister was with, which I was an angry person. And there were many times I wanted to do something, but this time I was going to do something.
Yeah.
So if you hurt my younger sister, for one, this is one of the reasons I think started to put a wedge between me and my older sister because of what happened later. But yeah, I knew where this guy was. I had it all planned out. Oh my goodness gracious. It was going to happen. Cops got there first. Okay. Which my sisters probably don't even know about this. So if they ever do watch this, I'm just going to be honest about it. I was on my way. And I had everything I needed. Looking back, it's like, how stupid was that? Just that reaction, though. I mean, anger. What anger can make you want to do?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah. So, but luckily, he paid his toll, if you will. He was convicted of everything, and I had to go to court. That was rough because I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to see him at all. But I want to be there for my sisters at the time. And then this wedge appeared between me and my older sister because he made this excuse, which I understand the excuse. Like, everybody makes mistakes. But in this situation, I expected a more severe reaction from her, and I wasn't getting that. And then that led to something that I can't say yes or no. I wasn't there. I don't know. I can take either one of them's word for it. Between her and my dad, that something supposedly happened. And then she started using that as an example of, well, everybody makes mistakes, you know. So why aren't you feeling this way towards your father? Like, why are you doing that? You know, and a lot more happened involving that, but that split the whole family because that somehow, I mean, I know how word spreads real fast when people start saying stuff. So that went everywhere. And then my dad calls me and says, hey, do you believe this? Do you believe this? I was like, Dad, what does it matter? I was like, what does it matter? I said, if it happened, fix it. You know, you guys go talk about it. If it didn't happen, then don't worry about it. Yeah. It's not between me and you. It's between you and whoever if it happened with, that's it. Go talk to them. Fix it. I don't care. He's like, I can't believe you're not going to take my side and all this different stuff. And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't there. Okay. I don't know. I wasn't there. It doesn't matter to me. It's like, what do you mean? And this is where my sister got mad. What do you mean it doesn't matter to you? I was like, how do I say this differently? It's like, if it happened between you and Dad, if it happened, then fix it,
Yeah.
But why now? Like, it was just really bad timing overall because it split the whole family apart. Everybody was picking sides. And it got even worse because Dad was already moved out way with somebody else, and there was already tension there, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then it was 10 years go by, and I haven't seen him, I haven't talked to him. And he shows up one day with 3 kids at my doorstep for Christmas. I'm like, who are these? Oh, these are your sisters. Oh, okay. So I hung out with them for a little while, and then I tried to start getting more involved with them back into their lives and stuff. My younger sister somehow this whole time had been involved. I still don't. I don't understand a lot of things that have happened in my past with family and stuff, and I don't need to. I just look at it and go, I don't know, whatever. I just don't know. But my dad ended up moving on this. He bought this land. He fulfilled his dream. He bought his land, 40 acres of land out on this ranch style house, beautiful home. It just had this huge wooden stove thing outside that like heated the whole house. I mean, it was old school. It was off the grid. It was what he wanted. It had a lake. I was so happy for him, but he was with this woman still. So I wasn't happy about that part, but I wanted him to be happy. And that's what you do. You kind of just put up with stuff. So I would hang out with them for a little while, and he ended up getting kicked by a horse, which kind of set him down the health kind of negative route. He got kicked in the stomach, which I guess hit his liver. Which did something to his, like upped his enzymes somehow, and it stayed that way. So he ended up having to change his whole diet and all this different. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, we're getting pretty close to almost, 2021 now, as far as skipping time. Still there, still with them, has more kids. I think he has 4 kids. I think he has 4 kids with her, and then 1 she had with somebody else. But, COVID time comes around. He ends up getting sick. So I'm trying to reconnect. It's been a fight. It's been a battle. You know how COVID was. You can't see nobody. You can't talk to nobody. You can't go into the hospitals. It was terrible. It was just a terrible experience not being able to see the person who's dying. And I know a lot of people experience that, and I'm so sorry for you. But it was a fight. Because he's with this lady, and this lady wanted to control everything. Somehow I managed to get and be able to go see him after. So he had been in isolation for, I think he was in isolation for a week because they did stupid, put you behind the little plastic wall thing and you get to call hello. What the heck? Whatever. So I got to see him after they'd already put him under. So I didn't get to talk to him. He was just asleep already. They had him on life support. They had him on the breathing machine thing. It wasn't life support. It was a breathing machine because he couldn't breathe. But here's the crazy thing about this. I've told a couple of people, while he was, everyone knows the story because a couple people were there, so I know that it's true. While he was there, he's sick at the hospital, he told Michelle, he said, listen, you can't let them put me on, what's the thing called? Respirator? Huh? Ventilator. You can't let them put me on this ventilator. I will die. It's going to kill me. Because he was a respiratory therapist. He knew. He's like, I'm not going to make it. They put me on this. Don't let them put me on this. Everybody has the story. Everybody knows. They put him on it. And that immediately put him downhill. blew up his lungs. He had whatever the little, I don't know what it's called. I want to say pulmonary edemas, but it's not. They had bubbles of air that they had to pop out of his chest. Ugh, that was
from the constant ventilation, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I didn't get to see him awake. That really was nightmare fuel for me for a long time. She wouldn't let my sister come in at all. That bugged me. I tried everything I could. My sister blames me for it, for not trying harder. I don't know if she still does, but that was, at the time, that was what was going on. So we were there. He was getting better. His oxygen levels were rising. He was in the 50s. He was back up into the 70s, and he was going up. So okay, well, we're going to go home. We'll go home. We've been here for hours and days. either in the parking lot or outside, whatever. So we drove home. The moment we got home, this is not even a joke. The moment we got home, hey, listen, he passed. What? What do you mean? It's like, well, yeah, after you guys left, which this started my road of severe suspicion. I'm just going to throw that out there because for years it affected me, and Josh can attest to this. Severe suspicion. So we got there, we're like, what? So we immediately drove back, and this is like a 3-hour drive. So we immediately drove back. We get there. They hadn't taken the body or whatever. They only left the body so you guys could see him and all this different stuff. Say your goodbyes, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, they, for some reason, allowed everybody to come up now. Sienna didn't come back the second time. She's like, I'm not going to go back if they're not going to let me see him, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So me and Sydney went back. And we were seeing him, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, man, that was tough. It's always real tough. Everybody's crying. My grandfather's crying. The one that ended up getting saved, he's, and this wrecked his whole world too, which if you haven't seen that story, you can go back and maybe I'll tell a little bit of it here, but devastated him. Everyone's crying. Michelle, oddly enough, is crying, but she's saying some of the weirdest things, just the weirdest things. I'm like, what? And then my grandma Janice, who during the family break, I'll air quote that, took her side, is saying some very weird things like, oh my gosh, all the kids are going to go after his money. Sterling's going to go, specifically me. Sterling's going to go after his money. He's going to try to do this. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? Like, it started there. He had just passed. I was so lost. I was taken so far back. I had no idea. I had no idea what's going on. I'm heartbroken. I'm super suspicious. And now my grandmother and this lady, Michelle, are saying these things. That's kind of a red flag for me. I'm not a super smart man. But what? Can't we just have our time here just to be? Anyway. Yeah. So I'm talking to him. I'm staying with him. I'm broken. As anybody would be. I'm broken. Because I'll go back just a little bit. The day that we were there, I truly believed, and this hurt me a lot. This hurt my relationship with God. I truly believed if I prayed for my father for healing, that he would be healed. I believed that 100%. I had faith that I'm like, no, dude, he's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's going to be healed. We prayed for him. He's going to be fine. We left. He was getting better. I was like, see, God's working. Get home. He died. So take that into account here.
Yeah, we prayed for him here too, countless times.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, yeah, 100%.
The whole crew.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's going to work. I have faith it's going to work, and then didn't. So that, what is this, Lord? You say these things, so on and so forth. But so it kind of rocked my faith there. Yeah, I know. I heard. Yeah, I remember you saying that. CFAM. It was terrible. It's terrible. It's very heartbreaking. To get back, we're saying goodbye to him. They let us stay a little bit longer to do some things. And like, well, what happens next? What do we do now? Because we do a funeral. Who's got POA? Because that becomes a topic of discussion and stuff. Interestingly enough, Michelle had POA. I don't know how this happened. Michelle had POA of his medical treatment, but not his affairs. So I was like, oh. But what we didn't know is while he was still talking, we find out this later, very soon, in fact, while he was still talking, she made him sign his will, if you will. While he was in the hospital, while he was, don't lose it. Just don't lose it. It's going to be okay. While he was incapacitated, not of sound mind, all of this different stuff. And everybody knew it. Everybody did. But she made him sign it anyway. And did this whole FaceTime thing through FaceTime thing. It was really messed up. But he signed it. I had no clue. Revolver interviewing Revolver paradox. Exactly.
Yeah. Welcome in, Mischief.
So we hung out there for quite a while. Everybody was asking. My grandfather was asking a lot of questions. Very angry at everything, specifically God. Saying some crazy stuff there, and I don't know what I'm going to do. My grandma Janice basically giving up on life oh, my boy, my pretty boy, which I've always thought that was kind of weird, but I was like, okay, it's whatever, my pretty boy, and just saying some just very strange things, and I was like, that's kind of a weird relationship, but you're heartbroken, whatever, I probably said some crazy things too while I was there. But while we were leaving, this is what kind of grew my suspicion even more. I was like, well, what happened? It's like he was doing fine when we were right before we left. He was going up. This is the first time he was going up. What was the drastic fall? They even said, he's going the other way. This is good. This is really good. This is the best his O2 levels have been, so on and so forth. Well, I come to find out there's another individual there, my aunt at the time, or aunt still, she was there at the time. She heard or had a conversation with this Michelle lady saying that Michelle had been giving my dad medication while he was treatment through his IV, because she had done her research and she knew what was going to fix him. The same stuff that we've talked about, Josh, all the different, this will help. She was giving that to him. It's like, oh, well, fantastic. That's not great. You hide it from the camera because there's a camera in the room, whatever. The whole thing was explained. Let's go. Okay, well, I can use this, maybe I can use this testimony. So that's when I started down this path. Well, I'm going to fight this, whatever it is. Because I didn't know at the time that my sister had that kind of authority. But then because we found out that he'd given away his will and testament and to her and shifted everything over, blah, 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 blah. However that works, she had it now somehow. So I'm fighting this. No. I know everybody's mad about my dad and all this different stuff, but I'm fighting for my dad. I've been fighting for him forever. I'm going to keep fighting for him. I tried to do that. I tried really hard. I just could not afford it. Okay. I showed up with the best. I almost said best interest at heart, but it wasn't the best interest. I showed up with intent at the first trial for it. Represented myself. Even called my sister to the stand, my younger sister, or I questioned her because she was in the stand. I called Michelle to the stand. I was the attorney Sterling, which I guess is the kind of funny part, but not so funny part. I was like, you know what? I've seen TV shows. I can do this.
Yeah.
And guess what? It works, by the way. Everything you saw on the TV show, just follow that. You're good. Maybe not everything, but
yeah. Watch a little more.
I object. That works. I have this proposition. Don't make factual things. Don't do hypotheses. Don't do what did this is gonna be kind of silly. What did Pirates of the Caribbean guy? What did he always say? A lawyer always say? They made like a meme out of it and everything.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah, he was on. Johnny Depp. He was on trial. His attorney would always say something like the other attorney would be like blah 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 blah. Like that's hearsay. That's it.
Hearsay.
The hearsay meme. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, I had that down. During this because they'd say something that's hearsay. Like no, yeah. Sustained, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, because they dismiss it and they take it off the. The stenographer has to remove it because.
Yeah, it's hearsay. That's hearsay. So I just smashed it. I was smashing it. And I had just talked to a lawyer too about it and across the street. And he's like, well, I can come over, but it'd be $1,200 just to come over and represent you. Like, I can't do that. Sorry, I don't have any extra money. I gave him like $2,400 just prior to this, just to go through the medical records and all that kind of stuff. Which just may be too much information, but I don't care.
Well, it's all closed up now, so I mean.
Yeah. Well, I found it. This is kind of strange. While I was trying to prep for this, I found the file that I never looked in it. I've never looked in it. I'll get to that part in a minute, why I haven't looked in it, but I never looked in it. I opened it up yesterday, or not yesterday, when Cam was here on Sunday. Not on Sunday.
Friday?
Yeah, when he was here on Friday. And saw his notes. Had I been able to afford that, I mean, I obviously wasn't supposed to do it. Guy to believe it was God's plan, whatever the case may be. I put it down. I didn't for a long time. Trust me, Josh knows. I looked at it like, man, I could have easily have won this case because it was all in there. Anyway, so yeah, we're in this case. I'm going through it, and the judge is super cool. I mean, he's like, He's like, what is this? Because it was like a FaceTime through FaceTime things. Like, this is very unorthodox. There's no, it's like, I can't even see what's happening here. Like, I can't see what medications is he on? Nothing. No, we don't know. Blah, blah, blah. What state of mind was it? What's his O2 levels? Nothing. I'm like, yeah, just smashing it. So then I called her to the stand. I was like, she was asking a question. So how did you know that he was in the right mind? Oh, medical blah, blah, blah. That's hearsay. Mm-hmm. I said, are you a doctor? And her attorney was like, objection. And then the judge was like, no, answer the question. Are you, I was like, I'll even rephrase is, are you a medical professional of anything? Like, no. I was like, then how did you know?
Yeah.
There's nothing written by a doctor. There was nothing. I mean, just nothing.
There's nothing.
It was just you doing it. You and your attorney saying, hey, you need to do this real quick before he loses consciousness, blah, blah, blah thing. Because we want to make sure that whatever. That's it. There was no doctors involved. They supposedly had a witness of a nurse and 2 nurses, but they were involved. They didn't check him, anything like that. They were just witnesses. They had to be, blah, blah, blah. And then she had 2 friends as witnesses that were not even there. Wow. Very strange. Anyway, so it was going really well, and then more money was required. And because the attorney that I used went through his medical records, which was like a lot of medical records, because he was in the hospital for 2 weeks and every medication, every, it's so much. So that took him 14 hours of the time that I paid for, and he ran out of money. It's like, I can't do anymore. I need you to pay me more. I've used your time. I'm like, I can't. Why did you use that? I had a doctor friend of mine, Lauren, in fact, the guy that I've been trying to get on here. Mm-hmm. He was going to do it for me for free. I was like, why'd you do it? I told you not to do anything unless you asked me. It's like, I know I got this working. I could do it. And he's like, well, that's not how this works. So then our relationship clashed really bad, and he ended up dropping me. He dropped my case completely. He said, I can't work with you. And I said, really? I said, you're going to do it? It was not good. And my wife, me and him, we argued, we fought. It was emotionally heated situation. So I was like, well, give me.
You may have malpractice there because you told him not to move forward without your consent.
I even wrote it. That's the thing. I even wrote it on the agreement. I crossed out huge, big old line through, and I even showed it to him. I crossed out. I was like, you have to contact me before you make any decisions. Wrote it in on the thing. They photo took it and everything. He signed it. I was like, it's right here. He goes, well, that's just not how it works. I'm like, but I changed it. I know how this works. You signed the paper. Your name is right there. And it's not only that, it's photocopied, so it's not written over the original. It's like, yeah. Anyway, he's like, well, I can choose not to do this. So that was a whole thing. And then I ended up talking to a different attorney who told me to report him to the legal board. And that's a whole other thing. Or the, not legal board, what is it called?
The bar.
The bar. That's it. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up doing that, but that's neither here nor there. So he ended up passing. So we had the funeral thing. It was a big old fight. And then crazily enough, which I still got to figure out that because I don't think I've ever done that. Dawn, the lady who was with, ended up paying for like a majority of his funeral costs, even though she hadn't been with him for years. So thanked her for that. Had the funeral. I think you were there at the funeral, weren't you, Josh?
No.
Okay.
No. You told us where it was, but everything, but we were
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. A whole bunch of people showed up that I didn't expect to show up. It was really cool to see. I had to do the little speech thing, which that destroyed me. I had to write it out beforehand, which I still didn't almost get through. And it had comedy in it because I had to do some levity. That's just how it goes. We talked about different things, but the relationship didn't progress well with Michelle. Things got worse with my grandmother. That put wedges between everything, and nothing got really better. And then the next 5 years, basically after that, I was not a very cool person to be around. I struggled with a lot of different stuff. I was angry all the time. Josh, unfortunately, had to be a part of that time, which I'm thankful he was, but I just wasn't. I wasn't good. I was all over the place. My mom was where she was at. Then during that time frame, I actually ended up meeting I ended up meeting my wife. We go even further back than that. I spent I'm telling on myself too much. I spent 5 years chasing this girl which is how I met my wife. But I spent 5 years chasing this girl, which I should never have been chasing. But young and stupid, and
yeah, we like to go after the wrong ones.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had a perfect example of that, right? I was like, this is it. This is the crazy one. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. I pursued a lot of crazy ones. I can relate. Yep. She's nuts. Perfect.
Exactly. And it was crazy because she didn't even like me. She liked my best friend, which always hurt because that's always how it happened. Okay, like this chick. Oh yeah, she'd go after him. Not even joking. Every single time.
My brother.
Yep. Thanks for that. I remember now. That hurts. It's all coming back to the surface. I'm bleeding on the inside. Yeah, that's literally how it was. You're so cool to talk to. You're so kind. Yeah. It's like, but he's the bad boy. He's exciting. Take a hammer. Sorry.
He's like, pick up something and break it real quick. How about that?
I'm bad boy now. Am I good?
That was my mom's irreplaceable heirloom vase.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm really bad, right?
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
Basically. So it took a long time to even get to that. So he talked to her for me. He's like, okay, we'll give it a shot. But then it was just, I was just being used. And I fell for it because, I was like, ooh, because of my previous experience and nobody technically liking me. Nobody even wanted to be friends. And I didn't want to be friends with anybody. This person showed a little bit of interest. So I fell hard, right? That's the unfortunate side effect of that situation. So I did. And it wasn't a good situation. I spent my days working and my nights driving over to her house where she was living with her mom. And I got in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble for that. Because, she used the excuse of she was basically going to kill herself every night for me to drive over there. I was like, no, you don't do that because she was in a tough situation, your parents. And I was like, I understand. I've been there. I know. So she's feeding into it. And yeah. I became the devil. That's what I was called. You're the devil. I'm like, okay, I'm the devil. That's interesting. I guess I'll just ride that, see how far that goes. Going to a church at a time. And that's actually where my wife was going to, which is kind of crazy in and of itself. I had got into it with the church. So that kind of affected my church relationship. Got asked a whole bunch of questions about, I should go back to explain this. So I went over there one night. Wasn't supposed to be over there. Her name was Grace. She was saying, "Hey, there's stuff going on in the house. This isn't abnormal. Oh, yeah, there's stuff going on. Spiritual stuff's going on all the time. Yeah, this is my thing. This is what I do." Which I'll go back to that. My whole. If you've ever seen Supernatural, all right, those who are out there watching right now, if you've ever seen Supernatural, that was my job description. That's what I was going to do. Like, I'm not even joking. That was me and my buddy. He wasn't as spiritually discerning, but he was like, yeah, I can do this. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we did. And most of the time it was just me, but it's not a big deal. Like, yeah, I'll come over. I'll help. I'll pray over your place. I'll come talk to you. I'll see, make sure you're safe. And I was really prideful about this, which is never a good thing. So I went. Showed up, wasn't supposed to be there. Her mom comes out. What are you doing here? I was like, well, she said that there's something in your house that's walking around. Making all this. Her mom didn't believe in angels. She didn't believe in demons. Or I'm sorry, she didn't believe in demons. She believed in angels. It's like, well, you do understand that that's fine.
Yeah, same thing. Just inversed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. Yeah. So she went back to bed. I'm still dealing with this. You could hear it walking around. I mean, it was the stories that I could tell about this stuff. It's like, okay. You move through the kitchen. They had like the hanging. A lot of people use the hanging stuff over doorways, like the little. Yeah, you just walk through there. You're like, oh, okay. So I just followed it around. What are you doing here? Get out of here. Blah, 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 blah. Going to battle. Mom comes back out. I said, what are you doing, Stella? I told you to go home. I was like, it's here. Can you not hear it? Can you not feel it? Can you not see it? No, I don't believe in that stuff. Bap. I've told you this story already. Big, huge smack. Loud. It's like, oh, that was interesting. She holds her shoulder. Walks back to her room, comes back out. She's like, did you tell it to do that? I was like, what do you mean? What did I tell? I was very confrontational at this point. What do you mean I was telling her to do what? What are you talking about? Whatever just slapped me. Like, what do you mean slapped? So she pulled her shirt down. There's little, huge. I mean, just crazy size handprint on her. And I'm like, no, I didn't tell it to do that. I was like, but now do you believe? So after that, I was, called the devil and like command demons and, like, kind of like a Jesus situation, but I'm not Jesus. I'm not saying that. It was just very familiar.
Yeah, that whole like I came here to fight that
Yeah.
not I'm gonna fight that with that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, I didn't go there with the best intention, so I mean, I'll admit to that, but that's why I was there. This was something that I just did.
And they could have, for lack of a
yeah.
better term, stirred up.
For sure.
Um,
For sure.
that
Especially when you're fighting, when you're fighting stuff spiritually, it's not quiet. Things don't just, and especially if it's really hanging on, because that was the thing with their family. They were very ingrained in Indian folklore. They had dream catchers everywhere.
Oh yeah,
They had these pictures of things everywhere. And I mean, the very first time I met them at their actual house, which was in Princess Lakes down there by Camp Atterbury, you walk in and you're like, no. I mean, your skin would crawl. I mean, if you were any sort of like had any sort of discernment towards the spiritual side here, your skin would crawl. I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. So I mean, my skin's doing it right now, just remembering it. Nuts. So yeah, that whole thing. I got in trouble with the church. I got in trouble with her. I got all this different stuff. I was done. Getting towards the latter part here, I was done with life. I tried everything I thought I could possibly do to be happy. I reached out. I gave my heart and soul to this girl, ? I found out that my best friend had actually cheated on me or cheated on her, however you do that. He was with her while we were supposed to be together, and she actually talked to him on the phone while I was there. And he's like, no, he doesn't know. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I was in a very bad place. Very bad place. Families were broken up. Craziness all around. So I was like, all right. So I made another plan. And this time I'm doing it. A buddy of mine that I was going to church with, his name was Josiah. He was leaving to go to the military. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go see this movie with him. I think it was like Iron Man 1 or Iron Man 2, whatever it was. Something. So she was there. So that threw off the whole situation. Grace was there, threw off the whole situation. I said something to him. She said something stupid. Her best friend outed me in front of like all of the cool kids right there. Like, what are you doing here, stalker? Blah, blah, blah. I became this guy that was a stalker. I had a restraining order put against me because I showed up to care. I shouldn't have showed up to care. I didn't know. The restraining order never went through because there was nothing, obviously, but had a pretty bad reputation, so I was over it. So I made this deal. I talked to God, made a deal with God. Never do this. I don't think it's smart, but I made a deal with God. I was like, listen, God, I don't know what's going on in my life. I don't understand what's going on, but I'm going to end it tomorrow. This time, I'm going to write the letter, doing all this stuff. I've seen it all done. I'm going to do this. This is how it's going to be. But if it's like Psalms, this is what's happening right now. I'm going to go down to the pit, Lord, unless you do something. This is how I felt. I was like, but I'm going to make a whole bunch of phone calls. I'm going to go eat. And whoever shows up where I eat, that's the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. Whether, hang on with me here. Don't think I'm some crazy person or stranger or weirdo here. All right. I just hang on with me. Whether that's a man or a woman. Okay. Whoever shows up, that's who I'm supposed to be with, Lord. Because during this time with my best friend, when you have a best friend, you really connect with them. And if you're not having a good, like relationships with females, you're not connecting well with females, but you're like, oh, I really connect with males, or specifically my best friend here, which he wasn't this way. So just follow with me if you can. I had more in common. I was like, well, maybe, just maybe, because it was kind of one of the things that was starting to break out at the time, the gay scene, however you're going to put that. So it's like, well, maybe, just maybe, Lord, I don't know. And I wasn't fully versed in scripture at the time. I didn't know. I knew that was not a right thing, but it was coming out in society that it was starting to be like, maybe this is an okay thing and all this stuff. So I was confused.
A lot of confusion.
Very much confusing. Yeah. So like, well, whoever shows up. So I called everybody, called everybody I could think of. Nobody came except for Sarah. And the interesting story, she'll probably tell that at some point in time, is she had to beg her parents to come. She's like, I don't know, Mom, why I got to go, but I have to go. Something is telling me that I have to go. I don't know what's going on. I just have to go. They're like, no, you can't go. And she begged and begged. And she ended up coming. So she showed up. A lot of funny stuff happened while I almost choked to death on my straw. It was hilarious. But I was pretty broken. I talked to her about it and everything. And then our relationship just kind of grew from there. Obviously I'm still here, so I didn't go through with it. I mean, I even told her what everything was. I was very honest about it and everything. Funny things, I'd seen her before. We had like a treasure hunt, not treasure hunt, where you go around like different places trying to figure out things, and the next thing leads you to the next thing, and the next thing leads you to the next thing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that's called. I met her there. It's like, oh, yeah, okay. We didn't have like a good,
kind of like a geocaching type thing.
Kind of, yeah. It's kind of like that. Anyway, that grew. Made a lot of mistakes. All right, that's just a simple way to put it. Made a lot of mistakes there. Did a lot of the same things that I did with previously, like showing up when I wasn't supposed to be there, and just doing all this stuff. But I was so tired. This is terrible, and I've told her about this already. But I was so tired of losing people that I knew, because I'd heard this all my life, that if you have relations with someone, it makes a connection, especially if it's the first time. And I hadn't been with anybody. And she hadn't been with anybody. It's like, so if I do this, then it's kind of going to lock this in, which is exceptionally selfish. And I know that it's exceptionally selfish, but that's how I felt. And I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form is right, but that's how I felt. And this was my mentality, because she had started to say things like we weren't going to be together. We weren't going to do any of this stuff like that. Which, I don't think I'm ready. This is the plans I have for my life, so on and so forth. It's terrible. It's terrible. So anyway, made some mistakes there. And a lot more stuff happened with the church. It was a whole thing. Had to go before the church, and she ended up getting pregnant, and it wasn't done right how it was done in the church. So that caused an issue with her with the church, and it caused an issue with me at the church. And it didn't take us out of the church, but everything happens for a reason. It actually, I think personally, it grew me stronger spiritually and with the Lord, and just how that all looks, because there's a pastoral change happened, and things are so much better now. And anyway, it was hurtful at the time, but we ended up getting married. We have Serenity, our kiddo there, and changed that for the world. Wouldn't really change any of it, because it's made me who I am now. But we'll jump back to the spiritual side of things. So starting at a very, very, very early age, I don't even know when, I would say at least at 3, because that was my first memory of things happening, specifically in that house. Started to see things with this person, but I was always able to see things. I mean, a lot of people can feel things or whatever, but I could always see things. It was normal. I didn't even know what was real and not real a lot of the times. Hi, how are you doing? Who are you talking to? Like that imaginary friend thing that a lot of people talk about. That's what really worried me when I had a kid. It's like, sure, who are you talking to? Oh, I go to the friend. It's like, wait, hold on. Let's talk about this. Yeah. So, so that happened then, and I just kept growing, and then I started learning, because I looked into it, started looking into stuff and talking to other people about spiritual warfare and things. And it's not something that's really talked about in the church. It's very hush hush, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, so whatever. So I went to TV. I went to movies. I went to whatever I could get my hands on.
Which kind of stinks. It needs to be talked about more in the church.
Oh, 100%. Spiritual warfare is huge. I mean, Scripture specifically talks about it. It needs to be talked about.
Yeah, it's repeated, so we know it's important.
Absolutely. And when it says, you don't fight against, flesh and blood. You fight against principalities and forces of darkness. It's right there. Yeah. Okay, just saying. So I got really into that. Really into it, and started doing all that kind of stuff, and I have quite a bit of stories. I'm just learning how to combat and trusting in the Lord, and what to say and what not to say, and making sure that you're spiritually clean and quote unquote sinless, if you will, before you can go into one of those situations, because that can cause a whole plethora of problems. But yeah, that's what I would do. I would just go around. People would call, and hey, I'd go. And I had this wonderful prayer group. Man, if I could ever get a hold of those guys again and just to see how they were. But we had this wonderful prayer group, and they would go and do it too. They would go and do it with me, and it was fantastic. And we would battle, and wonderful things were happening. It's great. It's like, yeah, God's moving. People are getting freed. And like I said, plenty of stories. A lot of close calls with individuals that were under either oppression or completely under control. That was very scary times. It's not for the faint of heart. I wouldn't say, this is a fun thing to do. It was exciting, because I felt like I had a purpose. If you look back at everything else that's happened, there's not much there. So I was like, you know what? This is what I can do. Lord, this is the road you want me to go on, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to do it. So I did it full-heartedly, went all out.
I had went on a deliverance.
Sure did.
Together once as well. So, yeah. And I'm sure that's not the last time.
Yeah. See, family. I mean, it happened. I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying it was the right thing to do or whatever, but it is what it is. I think there's a way to do it the right way, but the Lord will still work through that, which we all know that. So you just have to be able to see it that way. But yeah, did a lot of that kind of stuff, saw stuff all the time, had a lot of questions asked to me. I tried to help a lot of people. I mean, I had this one guy who was very much into mystic arts and tarot cards and all this different stuff, and he tried to kill me in my sleep. That was fantastic. Wow. But the Lord protected me there, and he ended up freeing him from that through prayer and different things. And I found out a murder, which is super cool, in a house that I didn't know there was a murder in, but I saw the whole thing happen, which was mind-blowing, because that was the most like fully immersive experience I've ever had. It was the outside of body experience, and then you slingshot back to experience before you walk into the thing. It was very interesting, which actually after that, a lot of that happened continuously afterwards, especially here in the last couple of years. I've been talked to Josh about that. In fact, I actually asked for the gift back. Lord, can you give this back? Because I feel like I lost it for specific reasons of stupidity and pride and so on and so forth. Our timing as well. There's a time for that and a time for not that. So
definitely more well equipped
now. Yeah, now. 100%. Yeah, I'm so thankful for that. But yeah, some bigger instances between all of that. I've confronted darkness many, many times. I had a guy outside my window, and I was living with Dawn and my dad at the time. Owl-shaped figure. They like to look like a whole bunch of different things. Whatever your fears are, they like to follow. They're fantastic, shape-shifting, disguised. They can look very good and attractive and fantastic, or they can look the spookiest thing ever to try to scare you. It's fun in a way. That was the big one that I started down the road with my dad, trying to tell him about that. I had this thing, Dad. I have this thing. What do I do with this thing? And can you help me with this thing? No, that doesn't exist. That's not a thing. You're just dreaming. You're just whatever. Like, no. I tried to prove it to him. I got chased home. I was taking this girl home in my neighborhood because we hang out and played or whatever. I took her home and I got chased home by this thing. And it got in the door. It hit the door into me. So I slammed the door shut, locked the door. He woke up. What's going on? I was like, I just got chased home by this thing, Dad. I've told you about this thing many times. In fact, this week, because it kept showing up. Right. And it finally made its move. What we got going on?
Oh,
I want to watch. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to see you too. So he finally like, oh, really? I said, yeah, look. And I told him that it was outside my window. And it actually, whatever it was, ate a circle. We just painted the bench outside my window, ate a circle where it was standing on the bench outside. I was like, look right here. He's like, oh, yeah, that's kind of weird. I was like, do you believe me now?
Right.
No, just, I must have painted, just blew off. Something must have sat on there. I'm like, yeah, I told you it's similar. But I really think that could have been grown at a younger age. It would have been something, So I took it my own way. So what you talking about?
Well,
Bo.
He's going through the story.
Just roll it back.
Yeah. You have to watch McCurley. He's talking about experiences.
Yeah, spiritual warfare and just growing up with discernment and sight and different things like that. A lot of black cats, which I know that's like whatever. People want to say, oh, that's just no, that's a thing. That's a thing. So whatever you think of, so like the Matrix movie made this a thing where you see a black cat, you saw a black cat again. That's a glitch. That's interestingly enough very similar to reality, to real life, and your mind will actually use that as a warning system.
Yep.
Anyway, that's the whole thing.
I've seen that very same instance in well before that movie came out too.
Yeah.
So like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
Is this trying to make sense of what's about to happen?
Yeah, because your reality, your perspective is what you can see. And then if you go beyond that, then you've got seeing through the veil, which is we talked about. It's talked about all in through the scripture. And you've got discernment, which is a spiritual gift. So if you get all of those things going on, your mind goes, what? And tries to put it together. RAS, reticular activating system. Yeah. I mean, I've read in a deliverance church, seen more than my share. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you talked about that a little bit, Bo. poltergeist activity, 100%. That's real. I mean, happened all the time. I went over to my best friend's house one time, was on his bed. The bed literally shook away from the wall. And, I mean, craziness. And then you have hands coming from darkness, which that's fun. If you've ever had that happen before, lights going off and on. But the crazy, I say all that to say this.
I've had all the same stuff.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, of course.
Oh, yeah. If it really grounded me more and more every time, grounded me more and more every time I instance, grounded me more and more into the fact that, as we read today, that God is the Most High. Because anytime you use His name or in Jesus' name or talk, just they can't do anything. It's crazy how fast they have to flee. And I say all of that, I had to put all that together, is that really started pushing me towards back into church and back towards God and back into scripture and all these different things. So we moved around and we ended up moving, which interestingly enough, moved next to Josh, 2 doors down from Josh, which is moved a couple other places first and lived with a couple other people first, but we moved in there. And then we started talking about different things and we grew our relationship. And then we started talking about doing not morning work, but FFP. And I was like, yeah, it's weird how God works, but He just makes things happen like that.
Yeah. Like that whole thing, like me working with your wife for a while. Yeah. Right. And then you guys moved 2 doors down and I see her coming out of the car one day and I'm just like, so I call her I call her up. Hey, look 2 doors down. And she's just like, what? And I was like, look 2 doors down. And she turns around and I'm waving at her. She's like, wait, it's you. I was like, yeah, hey. And yeah, like, because our first couple meetings on my end anyway, awkward.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I'm totally awkward guy to be around. And even if any of you guys, I mean, but if any of you guys showed up, I'd still be awkward. I'm still awkward as it is.
It was like, well, just like you were describing, like you're very defensive at first.
Yeah.
Which, like, now looking back on it, okay, now that it's, I know you, it's like, oh, okay, this is just how he processes. Yeah. But at first I was just like, because I told Laura, I was like, I don't know about Sarah's husband. Honestly, like that's what I told her. I was like, I don't know if he's like really just angry with me, like he feels like I'm gonna do something, or like I didn't know what. I was like, I don't understand that. But he doesn't want to talk seemingly, and yeah, I'm pretty sure he just hates my guts for some reason.
No, that's not just you. Everybody would tell you that. I was unapproachable. That was the
that's changing.
Common theme that everybody would say to Sarah. That I was unapproachable. That my eyes. I liked this one. This one was like my favorite. That my eyes were piercing. That when I looked at you, I didn't look at you. I looked through you. And I was like I was judging you or examining you or all of these different things. It's like, well, that's not entirely untrue, because of previously stated gifts and things like that. Like it was, I don't know. I could just, it wasn't just like quote unquote, let's just say demons or spirits or angels or whatever. I could discern things about people, like, you know, if they're good or they're bad. They had like I know aura is a big thing. A lot of people talk about it. It wasn't like that. I'm not even saying it's an aura, but you could feel people out. It is a thing. So that's very skin crawly for a lot of people when someone does that to you. And I was quiet and I would do that. That was what I would do. I was a very good listener and watcher. I wouldn't talk. So yeah, I apologize for that. Anybody I did that too, but
I don't think there's any reason to apologize. You were just assessing the situation, and it's how you processed. I mean, we talked about before, everybody processes things differently. I mean,
yeah,
I tend to process people by like just talking to them like I've known them forever and figuring out, like, I'll let them talk, of course, but you know,
yeah,
I kind of like the relationship as though it was already pre-existing so that they talk. And then when people just talk about themselves, you learn a whole lot about who they are, and you can feel it out really easily. Really
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Right away also kind of.
Yeah, no. I could not be vulnerable. That was, and I'm still not. I'm working on it, and I know you're literally the witness here. It takes a long time for me to like, all right, I'll crack a little bit. Okay, I'll let you distance because of. I hate using it as an excuse. And I've prayed about it, and I've talked to Sarah about it, and I'm like, well, maybe this is just how I'm supposed to be for some reason. I went through my experiences, and I'm just supposed to be standoffish and cautious and whatever.
Well, especially for your daughter's sake.
100%. I mean, that's God, I feel like a little bit going to be my downfall. Hate me for it or whatever, but
Bo says, having a gut feeling, always pay attention to it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. So I mean, here obviously we've had some stuff here, but I've prayed over stuff here, and especially when Serenity started talking about stuff, that was a no-no. So I jumped on that, and that's been good. And we're still cautious. We talk about it. And obviously, just lead them in the way they should go. So I'm not hiding it. It's a thing. She knows about it. She knows it. That's what I would have loved as a child to like explain this. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay, cool. Not having to figure it out on your own, because trying to research stuff on your own for that is a very, very dangerous road to go down. Because you can keep going and you can get lost real fast.
You can make left turns. Yeah.
Which is what I think they were trying to do. Because I could have easily gone down the other road and been real involved with it. And I may have been a millionaire right now. I may have been able to do all those things that I wanted to do, and, being fantastical and whatever. Had I gone down that road, because it was always a fight. They always wanted something. Hey, just do this and we'll give you. Hey, do this, we'll give you. And I mean, that's why I look at Hollywood, and I look at these musicians, and I look at all these people. And that's why I really, as Bo talks about, it's interesting that he's in here. You really have to crack down on those people and see, well, what you do. But there's other side for me, specifically with music, is, God can still use all things for good. So even if they meant it for evil, guess what? God can use it for good. That's my perspective on it. I'll throw that over there for now.
Yeah.
But yeah, tons of experiences like that. I talked to my mom about them quite a bit when I was younger, and she was always like, "Oh, cool, that's kind of freaky and whatever, But biggest,
you have problems explaining it to people that have never experienced it.
Yeah.
So, and because, like you said before, the church doesn't talk about it a whole lot, so a lot of people are just like, "That's hoopla" or whatever.
Yep.
But like,
or
of course, you could always talk to me about it. Oh, my dad.
Yeah.
Like, these are people that it's like, yeah, definitely, because it's right there in the scripture.
Yeah. And that's why I think I was so taken aback when it kind of came up in church, when I was confronting with it, with the Grace's mother, when she brought it to, hey, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. And I was called to say, I was called a demon. I was called the devil. And all this. Did you do this? Did you get into a Ouija? I mean, it was like an interrogation. Did you do a Ouija board? Do you communicate with spirits? Do you do this? And I'm like, I'm not dumb enough, first off, to touch a Ouija board. I know too much about that. I've seen too many bad things happen with that. I've had to go and destroy quite a few of those. And you have to do it a certain kind of way. It's not even, it's like crazy processes that you have to do this kind of stuff. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah. And then you ask those questions that are like, oh, that's not important. Like, that's never say that. If someone asks you a question, they're obviously asking you that question for a reason. Now they may have alternative motives or whatever, but if they're asking you in good faith, please answer that question. Don't, because that's not helpful whatsoever. Oh yeah, that was a big one for me. Like, hey, but what about this though? This is happening. And it talks about this in scripture. Yeah, but that's not important. The big thing in scripture to talk about is the Great Commission, and just focus on that. Okay. Have you not heard about this whole body? We're part of a body thing, and each member has a different
function,
purpose or function. Maybe this is no. Oh, okay, just yeah. Okay, cool.
Gotcha. And dealing with those things too, like, I mean, and asking those questions specifically about someone asking someone, did you touch a Ouija board? Did you pick up a group of crystals? Did you, like, I mean, we had a young lady that had been coming here for Faith Women Politics and some other stuff here. And, and then she, come to confess to Laura and I, was just like, yeah, I had all these books, and I had crystals, and I had all these things. She's like, and I threw all those stuff out. And she's like, and there was at some point, she thought she had gotten rid of all of it. And then sometime later, she found one book and one crystal that was left in her windowsill, and she was still experiencing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And so she took that book and that crystal, and she threw them in a fire barrel and lit them on fire, and was like, you're out of my house, And she hasn't had anything like that, that level since. And yeah, because that stuff is it's a door. It's a
100%.
window. It's a door.
100%. Specifically, so this is me going back to everything's my fault. So because I had this, it didn't just affect me, it affected everybody else. So like my cousins, my aunt, like they all started experiencing all of this stuff, like just crazy amounts of stuff. I'm like, yeah, I try to tell you, I'm trying to tell you. And it's this is your fault because you told me about it and you opened my eyes to it, or quote unquote, opened my eyes to it. I'm like, oh, well, I should have just kept my mouth shut, I guess. So you wouldn't have gone through this. It made sense. Like, oh, darn, I talked about it. I opened the door for you. Now it's like, yeah, we're here, blah, 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 which messed up a lot of things. My cousin went through a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and Cameron went through crazy stuff, and I tried to help him. And I went, came back, and my aunt tried to, it was not good. There's not a lot of bad things.
I remember the first time meeting Cam, and I was like, who is this person?
Yeah. So
yeah,
I was like the family. I don't want to say the family exorcist, but like, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. You just really got to be careful. Don't chase it. Just, if it shows up, it's there. If people ask for your help, then you help them. I mean, anyway.
The Holy Spirit will guide you through it.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And there's good things too. Like I was telling Josh, I messed that up, but there was a lady at our church. I was supposed to pray over her. I saw it before it happened. I saw myself get up and go pray over this baby that she was going to be having. And I didn't for like a year. I ended up doing it, and it relieves a whole bunch of tension and stuff like that. But those are good things too. So I think it's a lot of faith tests. Okay, you want this, or you're gonna, you're gonna move. You want this because we read about so many fantastical things in Scripture. Calling out demons and casting out demons, or people running faster than they're supposed to. They're running faster than chariots. Like that's really cool. Or like teleportation, or be taken up into the sky, or all of these. I've been seeing these visions and all this. Like we hear about all that. Okay, well, do you really want it? And if you do, okay, cool. Are you going to actually use it for the right reasons? So that was kind of where I fell into, I think. And that's why it kind of faded away for a little while. And then I was like, all right, I get it. I let my pride get a little ahead of me. Yeah, look what I can do kind of thing. And I've got this, look, because I'm quiet and I'm so cool in my own mind. And stupidity.
Let me get my flap jacket so I can go out here and do the
absolutely
do the things in the dark.
Right.
I'm Mr. Goth.
Yeah,
I
basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of the night. I'm not afraid of the darkness. I wasn't and I just didn't have fear. Yeah. And that was the problem. I didn't fear the Lord. That's where it should have come from. You get this. Yeah. Oh, you got like 90% of the way. You need to finish this. So the horror movies, tarot cards, creeps me out. Don't like it. Never mess with that. So that was the thing. I'll go the opposite way with that. I mean, Josh said he liked horror movies. I intentionally would watch stuff like that. So I knew what I had to combat or how to combat it. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is like preparing myself visually and mentally for whatever could potentially, because if this is what people consider horror, right? If you see it, you can't fear it. So I prepared myself. That's how I do. I'd watch. I don't even get scared of horror movies. Horror movies aren't scary to me anymore. They're like, well, this is weak sauce compared to what I've seen. So yeah, that was my thing. It's like I'll watch these to prep myself. Like that was literally my whole spiel. I'll watch the stuff just to prep myself so that I can't be overcome with it when it comes at me. I can't be afraid. I'm gonna be afraid of it. I've seen, on and on and on and on. Like this literally was like my training regimen. And however you look at that, it is what it is. But that's what I would do. I do stuff like that all the time. I'd go walk in the dark, and this is stupid. Don't ever do this. And tempt things. Like, okay, come on. If you're going to come at me now. I'm ready. I'm prepared, which obviously they're like, that's dumb. Why would I do that? They're not going to come at you when you're prepared. They're going to find that crack in your armor first, and then they're going to get you when you least expect it. Yeah. You ain't goth unless you deeply scratch yourself in the... What?
In your mother's basement.
You ain't goth unless you deeply scratch yourself in your mother's basement. I'm not... Yeah. Okay, Bo. Let's see.
The world is so dark.
Let's see. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, since then, it's grown quite a bit. A lot of other experiences, a lot of other hardships. My best friend that I have, that's been a roller coaster of relationship. I raised 4. But you learn a lot through life. It doesn't seem like it at the time, but you look back and like, yeah, you know what? This prepped me for this. This prepped me for this. And then, as we've talked about 100 million times on here now, you use those experiences to help somebody else. Sometimes that's why you go through those experiences, because the next person's going to, potentially have it worse, or they'll have they won't choose the right thing. So you're going to have to help them. You're going to have to motivate them or show them, hey, you can get through this. But yeah, still not really much of a people person. Working on it. I'm working on it all the time. In fact, I had to have a conversation with some people here recently about, which I talked to you about this too, about Serenity specifically. And, she needed to talk to somebody else, and, you can't really talk to your parents every time, that whole scenario, so yada, yada, yada. At least I was able to have a conversation, which you normally wouldn't. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. But I was able to have a conversation. I was able to be vulnerable. I explained a lot of the similar things that I've explained on here, specifically about just trusting people.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to trust people. Even like, don't take this the wrong way, CFAM or Bo, or, anyone's in here. Like, I don't trust you. I know that sounds terrible. Like, I love you in here. I love you to death. But if you came over, you would probably be very put off by me, because I would be watching you. I would be listening. As Josh knows, the very first time he met me, it would be probably like that. I'd probably be like, oh, you're CFAM? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Bo, you've gotten a rapport.
Yeah, I've gotten a little closer, but I've seen him in person.
Yeah.
And Josh knows that's what it takes for me. It has to be something that's repetitive. That's how, like, the way that I learn. It has to be repetitive. It has to be something I touch every day. It has to be something that it's the same thing with my relationships, because I think I'm set.
Bo says he's not mad. He thinks you're a bit shady too.
Hey, absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate that. That's what I was going for. Let's say that's just, yeah, that's just what it takes. I was so used to people leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, okay, well, you're just gonna leave, you're not gonna. It's just all. You're gonna think I'm weird. You're gonna think I'm creepy. You're not gonna actually get to take the time to get to know me. You're not gonna, that's what my wife will say all the time. Well, if you just take the time to get to know him, then you'll break through this crust, this layer, this wall that he has up, and you'll actually get to see who he is, because he puts on this. This is how he's defensive. But if you actually just
that's what she
told
me. That's what she told me about. Just like, just stick in there. He's fantastic. Just stick in there.
Just take the time.
And I was like, are you sure? She's like, I wouldn't have married him if it was like, all right, that's fair.
True. Yeah. There's no way. Power of prayer and faith has covered me in many. Yeah. 100%. That's a very good place to go. But yeah, I'm still kind of prickly as it is, but I intentionally try harder, because specifically that scripture that talks about, he who is friendly will have friends, that whole thing, like, that got shoved a lot. And at first, I was like, oh, thanks, appreciate it. You gotta be friendly if you want to have friends. Like, I'm trying so hard.
Yeah, but you've grown a lot too in just the past few years. I mean, there's a lot of growth, and I think part of that, of course, is church, because you have a lot of good, like, church family, and you have your family at home. But I think there's a big component of that, if I may, of coming here and doing things with Revolver and that family.
Yeah.
And if I could encourage you to kind of talk about that from your perspective, like from
the Revolver fam.
Yeah, like from our conversation in the driveway, where you're like, we're doing double duty, like we are trying to clean up your yard and the wasp stinging you or whatever.
Dude, I'm talking about that death sting, craziness,
and kind of moving forward from your scope.
Sure, my perspective.
I know my perspective, but I don't know yours.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a chore. And when Sarah's like, hey, you need to go talk to Josh. I'm like, but I don't want to talk to Josh. I don't want to make a friend. Like, no, you need to be good. Because that was when we started talking about the whole, if you can be friends, be friendly thing, blah, 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 blah. Because stuff was happening at church about it. It's like, okay, fine. So I'm going to talk to Josh. I'm going to talk to you. And, it was very awkward and very sweaty, and
it was summertime out, and we are trying to clear.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and I was cleaning up. I don't know if it was that time specifically, but I was cleaning up that when I got stung with that wasp. That was a terrible situation. I was cleaning up the stuff on the fence. Oh, so
yeah, that's exactly what was going on. You're trying to clean up the stuff on the fence and the spout. That's all there was.
Yep, the water spout. I was I gotta pull this vine thing that's in the water spout. Stuck my hand up in there, and apparently there was a wasp nest inside the water spout, and it stung me. Josh was still in his yard at the time. He would come back to get, I think, something to spray.
Yeah,
I ran back over there like some. Don't go. Stay back, Josh. It's dangerous. Why? I got stung by a wasp. It was crazy. It's where it stung me. I had the sting mark, and then I had the red line going up my arm. I was like, look at this. Look. I'm dying. Yeah, it was fantastic. You okay? You allergic? Like, yeah. I don't know.
So we stood around and discussed it instead of.
Yeah. we didn't go to the hospital. We didn't go to the emergency room. Like, no, I'm fine. It's just a red line slowly creeping up my arm, and it keeps going further and further. It's probably just the venom,
normal
poison. It's normal. Yeah. Let's talk about starting a podcast. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah. No, it took me a while. I'll just say that it definitely took me a while. It's a little bit at a time to let it in a little bit further and a little bit more vulnerable. And that was my thing. And this again is selfish. Is if someone is willing, this is my thought process. If someone is willing to take the time to get to know me, then yeah, the red line death. That's exactly. I learned later that that's not good. Yeah. In fact, it usually means blood infection or something. That's a more serious sign, but it could have just been that the toxin from this said wasp thing was just traveling through my bloodstream, and that's what it was affecting my. Anyway, but yeah, if people were willing to get to know me, but they had to make the first steps, I would never do it. They had to they really wanted to get to know me. They'll put in the work, which is, a terrible way to think per se, but that was how I went. I was like, I'm not gonna make the effort anymore. I made the effort too many times, and it hurt me too many times. So. Which is one of the conversations I had to have with those people that want to talk to Serenity, because I pour all my time. Like if I pour all my time into Josh here, I really make the effort to let him get to know me, and we talk, we do all this stuff. So he just gonna be like, I'm moving away. I'm like, well, that's not worth it to me. I'm sorry. Yeah, 100%. So it just took a little bit after a little bit, and then I cracked a little bit more, and then we started doing FFP. And you and Laura were way too inviting. That really threw me off. Like, I mean, I don't understand. This is creepy. Like it was creepy to me. I'll be completely honest. It's like, I don't know what's going on here. These people are way too happy. They're like letting me inside their house. Like, if Josh knows this. If I come over to your house, I will not walk inside your house. I will wait outside until you tell me that I can come in. I will not open your door. I will stand there and wait, because that's how I am. Other people, they just open your door and come inside. That really freaks me out. I don't understand it. That's way too much trust going on there. Anyway, so they were like that. They're like, oh, the doors, just come on in. I'm like, I can't. Just tell me. I'm like a vampire. Give me permission. It's serious. That's how it was. So you go in and they're just happy. And they had, dog. I think you had what's his name at the time when I first met you? Zeppelin. He was fantastic pup. That was really drew me in. It's like, they got a dog, so I'm going to be over here. He was a fantastic puppy dog. No, they were way too cool. They were just way too chill and happy and kind and offering everything and this, that, and you want this, you want that, do this and do that. And then it continued on, and we started doing more FFP stuff and started meeting people. If you go back and watch the first FFP episodes with me in them, not great. It's not great.
You had me and Alan on like either side of you, just kind of.
My God.
Yeah, because him and I are like very the same, and you're sort of in the corner like,
hands crossed, fiddling with something, moving my leg. Yeah,
he looks like he's trying to make, because he's just so off put by all our energy.
Yes, so nice. Might be swingers. It took a lot to break you out of your bubble. Yes, it did, Ryan. It truly did. It really did. But so yeah, I just kept doing that. And I met people, which honestly, Bo, you know this, probably I've already told you. I know I told Josh this. My first impression of you, Bo, was not great. I will tell you that straight out. It was not great. It was not. I was like, nope, this is not a person that I can. Sorry, I can't. Because it was like, I think there was an argument that ended up happening or something, some crazy conversation. Like, there is nothing moving here in this conversation. And there was a lot of butting heads and like, yep, no, this person can't do it. I've already reached out just a little bit to Josh. Bo seems like really cool because Josh told me Bo's really cool, but I'm not seeing Bo as being really cool. Yeah, so that was my first impression of Bo, but I've learned since then that there's a lot of growth been going along. All sides, in fact, all sides, and we've grown. Yeah, you're a little bit more than that. Like a tungsten steel rod that's strapped with TNT. It's not a big deal. That's dropped from space. It's just okay.
It's a jagged bill with chainsaws, screaming like a minion.
Yeah. Barbed wire wrapped around it just a little bit, tipped in some sort of wasp poison that's going to make red lines go down my arms. No, you're a great guy.
And he was there episode 2, so that was like
it was really early.
And you were sat next to him.
Yeah, it was interesting. I still won't walk into someone's house. Yeah, I get it. He's just in the back of class. Yeah, 100% C-Fab. That was me. I didn't talk to anybody. I skipped that whole part. I was in your year, in your yearbook, you had like the most likely tos. I've told Josh this already. I was the one that was most likely to blow up at school. That was my thing in the yearbook. It's literally in the yearbook. It's right there. Most likely to blow up at school. Yeah. So that was that far drawn. I sat by myself at the lunch table. I know we're going way back here. Yeah, I'll get back to you, Josh, in a second. Your family.
This is not my story. I just asked about it.
Yeah. Yes. It was back and forth. It was for me not a safe environment.
For sure. It
was not a safe environment. That was my thing. Like, am I in a safe place? No. Like that's it was crazy to try to go into somebody else's house, like Josh's house, to start out with. Like, if I can get out, I'm getting out. Like, if I can make it like, oh, we're done doing what we're doing. Like, I still do it now. I don't mean to do it, but I'll be like, yep, this has been over for a while now. Like, move this on. I got, I want to get somewhere else that's not awkward. Yeah. Anyway, so I would sit by myself at the lunch table, and I'd have all the drug dealers, and everybody would sit at my table because, like, this guy doesn't talk about anything. Nobody deals with them. They just tell me their whole plans and profits. And, hey, do you want to get involved with this? I'm like, no, I'm good, thanks. And it was the whole time that what's the stupid movie? I hate that movie. Because everyone said they looked like him. You know what I'm talking when I say you're like, oh yeah, we've talked about it before. His best friend like runs for school president or whatever. Napoleon Dynamite. Yeah. People were not nice. Skip school.
You don't look like him at all to me.
I used to. I had a little mini fro. I mean, I got.
Well, yeah, I've seen your older photos, but even looking at your older photos, it doesn't look like that to me.
I don't know if I can show this or not. This was me. Oh, that's a big glare. Nope, it's right here. Oh, that's kind of.
Yeah, a little more. What's that? Shock jock.
Great. Yeah. Okay. I got it. Moving on.
I mean, is that a downgrade from Napoleon or what?
Well, I'd say that's probably a little bit higher. That's probably a couple marks at least, but that's
Howard Stern. That's what I was thinking. A little more Howard, like non-Jewish Howard Stern.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was definitely an interesting night.
Well, it really was. Yeah, it really was. But yeah, I'm a big time learner. I get all of that. I had girlfriends that weren't even my girlfriends. They would walk up to me and just like hold my hand in the hallway just so they didn't have to be alone. I guess. I don't know. I eventually ended up having a relationship with one of the ladies. I didn't do anything with her or whatever, but she ended up, so many crazy stories. She ended up getting in trouble with the FBI because she contacted somebody over in England that was part of a terrorist group. It was so nuts. I've had just the craziest experiences. She ended up having to go to like an all-girls school, and she had to send me letters because she was in prison. It was really weird.
Wow, that is, but that's insane, dude. Both said you look like the lead singer of REO Speedwagon. I mean, that's better than Howard Stern.
Yeah,
so you're moving up the ladder.
I can sing.
To Handsome Plus now, so
that's right. But no. I mean, you guys just took me back. There's not a lot of people that I could say that were nice, and you guys were very nice and inviting, and honestly, you made it easy to come out or whatever you want to call it, put down some of my walls, but you guys are very understanding as well. So it was very cool to have that. It did take me a long time though. I mean, and since then though, that's just after the walls have come down, at least in part. And we were talking about this beforehand, like, I know about you, but I don't know everything about you. It's true. There's a lot of,
well, I mean,
hold things. Not everybody can tell everything. So
yeah. I mean, it's the same thing for you with me.
No, absolutely.
It's funny about me, but
yeah. So, no, I was able to just talk to you guys and not feel like I was being judged for something. So that was nice for once. Not being like, oh, that's not important. I literally got that all the time. Or like, yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, that spiritual warfare. Oh yeah, that should be talked about. Or, oh, you struggle with this? Yes, so do I. Or yeah, we've whatever. Willing to help. We're willing to help. What was it? We're willing to help. I was just quit it. It's too weird. Stop it. Yeah. Oh, you consider me your friend, Bo? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I hope that I could feel that. Roll well. No, I'm glad. I really am. I wouldn't have really had it any other way. Like I said, it was very shocktastic at first, but we don't still agree on everything, and that's okay. That's what iron sharpens iron, and we'll figure it out someday. So
yeah, well, and by the time we get there, God's going to go, and you're done. On to heaven you go.
Yeah. I will know anyway. Sounds very funny. But yeah, I mean, even with like you're talking about church and church friends at church and stuff, I don't really have that. I had to, and this is why I don't have any really now. I'm trying to start again. I had two friends. One was Brandon, which Josh knows Brandon.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Went hard in the paint with Brandon, wanted to be his friend. We were trying to do stuff, and then gone. I mean, we even invited him in this Revolver stuff. We tried to get him involved with that, and then he's just gone. That hurt a lot.
A busy guy, yeah.
I know that, but that's how I function. That's how I work. Like if I put it, and then you just disappear, then okay, well, I'm not gonna do it again. But I did it again. And I think actually in reverse, but I did it with the guy named Tom. He also went to the super cool dude, used to stream, Tom.
Yeah.
He disappeared. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I stopped. And I had to go through marriage class with Sarah. I made some friends there, I guess, but it's a very surface level. Talked about a lot of stuff that was very personal and all that kind of stuff. So that's, I guess, but I don't know any of them, but they're super cool. And then Chris Ward, which we all love. Chris Ward, fantastic man, loves the Lord, super, super cool guy. He's been on FFP.
You can't call him Mr. Ward. You have to call him Chris Ward. Yeah. Because he told me, he was like, don't call me.
Yeah. I'm not my dad. Yeah. Super cool guy. Really close. Was really close with him because we had a college career class thing that he did for a little while. So yeah, a few. And that was always my thing. I'd rather have, if I was going to have friends, very little amount, not a lot of friends. So I had, like I said, best friend of, well, I don't know if we're still best friends now. I don't know what you would consider us. I consider he'll always be my best friend, but I have many best friends now. 23 years. It was like the only friend that I had for a long time until Josh and Tom and Brandon and I had no other friends. So, yeah, a lot of craziness happened there. I never, I know it's going back again, but like the military, I never got into the military because of my dad telling me that I shouldn't get into the military and his experience with the military, and which is crazy because my grandfather was all about the military and they butted heads over that. But
yeah,
it's like, oh, the military did this to me and they injected me with all these shots and now I've got this and I've got that and I can't taste anything. Everything tastes like metal, and it was a whole thing. So yeah, I guess I'm never going to the military.
Yeah, I mean they have, and I don't know that they don't now, but they've done a lot of rotten things to soldiers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they still do. Yeah. Yeah. I won't mention a name, but just to protect his
anonymity.
Yeah. They still do. It's just crazy. The fact that they still give you what's it called? They inject you with a little bit of it every time. I can't remember what it's called. It's some sort of toxin or poison or thing. that makes you like if it's released, the soldiers will be fine. Everybody else is toast. So he's like, yeah, they give it to us. It's almost every time we go in through for our things, they give us a little bit of it. Can't remember what it's called, but anyway. Yeah. So anyway, I had the thoughts like that. But my dad's also very, he's just too smart. He was too smart for his own good. He was the biggest entrepreneurial person I've ever known. He could never just stop and be happy with something. Oh, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? Dad, calm down. Like, you're crazy right now. Because he started out being like, I think he was like a male nurse, and then he went into respiratory like my mom did, and then he went to start his own company, Trinity Staffing, which I still have. I found one of his business cards the other day. That's 20. That's so old. I was like, what is this? And it had like a cross on it, and it was fantastic. I was like, oh, cherish this forever. But he didn't even stop with that. He's like, oh, I gotta do something else. Then he became like an electrician. He's like, well, I'm gonna go for my master's, and then he went for that, which that takes a long time. He's like, I'm gonna be a police officer. So he started doing stuff like that. I'm like, you need to quit. Like, I don't understand. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be a maintenance guy, and he started doing maintenance, and then he started, well, I'm gonna do shipping for big companies like Rolls Royce and Firestone. Like, what are you doing? He just never would stop. He just kept going up. Yeah, he just kept going up. So I think that's what he had expectations. Looking back at him, like, man, he really thought that for some reason I had the same drive or whatever, and I just did not. My sister did. I don't even know. Like, okay, this is funny. Me and Cameron are kind of like the black sheep of our family, if you will. Everybody else gone to college. Everybody's got degrees. Everybody's in fancy jobs and making money. I was like, I'm interested in criminal justice. Because why not? It sounds cool. I want to look into missing kids. Like, that was my whole thing. Like, I want to figure out where these kids are because spiritually speaking, I knew other things were going on. Yeah. I was like, I want to get into this. And I tried, and that didn't work out. Obviously, because I'm here now, but then doesn't take away from my thought process for that still. Just money and everything. That's the whole thing that got me in trouble with my dad with the whole tax thing that he lost the money for and all that. That's what all that happened. That's when I was going for that. But yeah, I mean, Cam, neither one of us. He's interesting enough. He's actually done more than I have now. Cam has, because he's gotten his different licenses to do home health aid and all that stuff. But yeah, anyway, I just don't like school. I don't like school at all. Never liked it. Funny thing though, my junior and senior year, specifically my senior year, is the best I ever did. I didn't have to take any tests. I didn't have to take any finals because I aced all my classes. And they're like, well, there's no point in you taking a final because you already know it all. I didn't even try that year. I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to whatever. Apparently, the less you try, the better you do.
That was my experience.
I had to stop. I had to stop caring. I had to stop being like, oh, I'm so uptight about this. And just like, yeah, whatever. It's just going to be. And it worked out. Oh, craziness. Craziness. Indeed.
It's almost like you let go and let God, and
yeah,
it's kind of
weird,
but it just kind of happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Sounds like, yeah. What else? I mean, shoot. I mean, now we're doing this. It's been quite a few years now. 5.
Yeah, we're in our 5th year.
5 years. Been doing this, which has been a road to travel, a lot of growth and bumps. Been some bumps. There's been some up times and some down times, but luckily, and obviously it's not luckily, it's because the Lord, he built those relationships, and my relationship with you, your relationship with me, and vice versa across the board as far as with our wives and just the family that we've made through Revolver. To keep on keeping on in many different ways. Oh my goodness gracious, it's been crazy.
We have you meeting Alan, you meeting
Alan.
To death. There was some good times with Lou.
I loved Lou. He was an old angry man. I mean, that's the best way I can explain it, and that's okay until it wasn't. But that was okay. Yeah. I mean, meeting Alan was way too much. First time meeting Alan, he's
he dialed to 11, right?
Yeah, he needs to quit. He needs to be kicked in the shins or something. I don't know. He's too much. But
That's what my mom said about him too. Like,
he's too much.
she said, "Does that kid ever shut up?" That's what she thinks.
Yeah. He's a great guy. I love him to death. Get to know him. Yeah, obviously, there's not everything you're gonna agree on or disagree on or whatever, but I was so fantastic to see his growth, just being on my side of it, and so much we prayed for him, and him still being willing to be part of FFP and all that was really a big thing for me, because I was like, man, if he's willing to stick around still, and he's willing, because a lot of people came and went. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest about it. A lot of people came and went. Alan was still there. Now, obviously, that's not the case. It's me and Josh and a few others here who come and go, maybe. But during that time, he stayed around. He stuck around, and I really appreciated that. To me, that shows dedication. That shows worth. And I know that maybe sound bad, the whole worth part, but this is worth investing in. He's worth, and that's what I mean by worth. Is he? I'm going to keep going with this. I'm not going to put it down. And we ain't worked together for a little bit, which I thought was really cool. I enjoyed that. And then that stopped quite rapidly. I think it's like maybe 2 months, maybe. We drive, we talk, and I thought, man, this is going to be the next thing. This is going to be the next thing. It's going to be Josh, Alan, and I, and we're going to be but then that fell apart. Me and Alan part, and he kind of just, and that's what gets me too much is how to say this kindly. And we've talked about this countless times, because do we keep going? Do we stop? Do we keep going? Do we make the effort for this? Do we not? And that's kind of how I have felt with Alan different times, and I get, this is so hard for me to wrap my head around, that people have lives. I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, people have lives, because I have dedicated so much time to other people, and like just put things down in my own life just so that I can be there for other people. Like, I specifically think about Kyle and Cameron. I'm not trying to put myself on a high horse at all. Okay. It wasn't a healthy thing. But this is how I lived. The Three Musketeers. Yeah.
I mean, still, when you see us three together, when you see me, Alan, and Sterling together, yeah.
We do good work. Have you seen the Allen Squad?
There's good things happen.
Yeah, I guess it's wonderful. And a lot of God conversations and stuff too. It's a lot of venting usually. I'll just say that it's a lot of venting, because sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, the guy talk. Yeah,
still, God is involved in that though. Like, well, this is what this says or whatever. Fantastic. Like, we went to that park that one time. That was cool. We did that and talked about all that kind of stuff. That was a lot of very informative. I learned a little bit more about Alan and his situation, but just investing, what you invest in someone else, and when you invest, sometimes maybe I have to just break. I don't know, but it really, really bothers me. It always has. It's like me and my sister. I'm gonna skip around again. Me and my sister, we were together through a lot of the thick and thin, and then she moved away. Mm-hmm. That devastated me. Like, why would you do that? It's me and you against the world kind of scenario here. And it's like, well, I'm gonna go. I got my life to live now. Well, what do you mean? I'm part of that life.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? No, I'm gonna go do this. And like when my dad said, I'm gonna be with my other family. Like, it was like I don't know if maybe I just don't understand or I don't comprehend that. But I would, specifically for Kyle and Cameron, because they were going through similar things as I was going through, with their parents were breaking up and so on and so forth. Luckily, it was only, well, I guess it was like 2 or 3 times, but the big one for both of them was their dad, basically their whole lives. But they're going through this. I invested so much time in that. I was going to move away. I had all these plans to like move away and go to like North Carolina and start this other job and do all this different stuff and take Sarah with me and all this different stuff. We're like, oh, so we're gonna. I stayed for them specifically, whether they know that or not. But I stayed for them so I could be there. And they're like, well, my mom is here, so I stayed for my mom. Like, I'm not, whatever. I'm just going to stay here and be here because people need me. And then, in fact, I needed them to come to realization. I needed them. But when people then move away, like, oh, well, I've got my family now. Like that, I wish, Lord, I don't even know. I don't know if you can help me with this. I don't comprehend it. I don't understand like what that means. It's like but we're still family. So why can't you just stay here? Like, why do you have to go? Because my sister moved away to like Utah and like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's like, how about we all just get closer? In fact, let's not move further apart. Let's move closer so we can take care of each other, and things will be easier, and we can share resources and stuff like that. Like if you're having a hard time, like, hey, we need a car, or, whatever. We can make it work. It's better this way. Look, yeah. I think that's just the mentality that I have, and I've never been able to break it.
The way that you're feeling also though is the way things were for a very long time. I mean, that's how families were. Everybody just kind of lived in whether it was in the same house or in the same area, or like
Yeah.
everybody was always like, it was not uncommon for a very long time for a child to inherit their parents' home and they're still living there like their entire lives.
Yeah.
And then their children's children, like everybody was living in the same domiciles or very, very, very close by.
Yeah.
It's ingrained in us as humans.
I think so. I feel like that has to be the case. And that's why when it happens, I don't understand it. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, why don't you feel the same way that I do? Like you somehow detached yourself from this, from me. Like how, I don't get it, yeah. And I've just always felt that way. So anytime anyone says it, like you've mentioned before, like, oh, well, maybe we're going to move to whatever. I'm like, no, man, don't do like, it's like, please don't, but that's what you want to do. And I can't tell you no, that's your thing. Like, go ahead, be happy.
Laura and I have discussed that many times. It's like, the whole idea is if Laura and I go somewhere, like in my head, that package deal comes like a compound where you and your wife and daughter also are there.
Yeah, like everybody has to go.
Revolver broadcasters as I can, like move it into the same like domicile. It's like we're the same in that way. Like I want us all just like close.
Yeah, my generation, we were close family wise, but we couldn't wait to get away. See, that's why I still don't like. I see your statement. I don't understand. Why can't you do both? Like, why can't you discover new things together? And in fact, it would probably be easier to do so, right? Like, I want to go on vacations. Okay, let's all go. And how much cheaper it would be, and how much more. Well, I just want to get away. And I know everybody's relationships with their family and stuff like that are not whatever. Or maybe they're not great. Then maybe there's some exceptions there. But I've been told that I have like a very old soul. Like you have like your thought processes, it's outdated. This is like, yeah, but I don't understand chasing this American dream. Like everybody talks about coming to the America, chasing. Well, what is that? For me, that's just being a family, hanging out together, just providing and taking care of each other so that we can all live. And yeah, maybe we can do some fun things, and we can expand or whatever, and we can go on vacations or travel the world, whatever somebody's dreams are. How about we all help to make those come true instead of, I'm going to go do this myself and see if I can make it work. Why not wait? Why not? That's always been my thinking.
Yeah. Well, it's always like you see that in movies too, where like, well, the family pulled the money together so you could go to do this, to go pursue this, and they're like, oh, that's so amazing, and they're always like so surprised that they get to go to college or go do this thing or whatever,
Yeah,
because the family got together. Yeah, you and I are the same that way, dude.
Because in my head is okay, if let's say you do send somebody to college or whatever, then they come back. And then they can do their thing here, and then they can provide for the next person, or like, it can just keep building, which I wish I've talked to you about this too many times, talking about like generational wealth and those kinds of things, even if it had started small, just, I wish I would have done that starting out when I was a kid. I wouldn't have to worry about anything right now per se. But just, I don't know. But you live and you learn and you keep moving forward. That's one of the things I think a lot about with Serenity. I'm like, what is she going to do? Is she going to leave? That, like, is she going to stay? And I don't want to tell her, you can't leave, can't stay or whatever. Like, I'm just, hey, listen, here I am. And I've already told her, like, if you want to, once you graduate, if you want to stay, stick around and be your own person. I'm not saying that, or don't be your own person, but I don't know. I love family. I hate, obviously, if you've listened to any of my stories so far, I'm a big family guy. I care about those. closest to me in a crazy kind of way. And whether they know it or not, or they feel the same way, which is a big issue that I'm having right now with my sisters, is definitely not the same. That really bothers me. Something that my younger sister told me quite a few years back now. I was like, you're not Sterling anymore. You're not my brother anymore, because you don't act a certain way that you used to. You're not happy. You're not funny. You're not. Something happened to you. Something changed in you, and now you're different. I don't know what happened to you, and it all kind of started which I know what it was. I've already explained this now. Is when I met Sarah. So before I met Sarah, what was going on? I was not a happy person. So that's what she was talking about. I've tried to explain it to her before, but yeah. Anyway, so my sisters are really tight. They live next to each other. In fact, they moved recently just so that they could live next to each other. And I'm trying to be like, oh, because my older sister had moved. My mom moved back from Florida to be next to her. And then she moves with my younger sister, and they move somewhere else to be next to each other. There's a lot of frustration there, and I don't know what to do with it exactly, other than it's like, Lord, I don't know why. I don't like people being mistreated. And to me, looking at it, it seems like my mom's being taken advantage, or was taken advantage of, or continues to be taken advantage of, or whatever. My mom is such a sweet lady. It's crazy.
So kind.
How just loving my mother is. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't have made it. There's 100% no chance that I would have. There's no way. She's beyond the stuff that she's gone through, stuff that I've talked about. I don't even know how. I don't know how she does it. She is my inspiration.
Her very first time meeting me, hey Josh. Yeah. I mean, just like I thought her hand was going to just wave right off her body, because she's too cool. Smiling so big, and super, super kind. Yeah.
Which was more important? I couldn't shave my head into a mohawk, be punk rock around my family. Oh, okay.
So he's saying his bad behavior was, he felt like it was more important than sticking.
I got you. Yeah, you wanted to be. And I understand that. I mean, finding yourself. Yeah, finding yourself and wanting to. My question has always been, well, why can't we just do it together? Because I struggle doing anything. And this is just me personally. I struggle doing anything by myself. If I'm left, I mean, I think it's scriptural. It may not be scriptural. It may just be like a saying that somebody says. If I'm left alone to my own devices, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not going to get anywhere. No, it's just not going to happen. No drive, I can barely function. That's just the honest thing as it is. I mean, it's hard enough just to wake up in the morning and get on here and do morning word. Like, that's the honest answer to that. Like, Josh always texts me, calls me. Hey, he calls me in the morning. I'm like, I'm asleep. I just went to bed like an hour ago. And hey, God, don't answer it. I'll just text him back.
That's exactly what he does. Yep. I'm just his morning alarm.
But if I didn't have that,
I'm trying to get there. I know it's out there. I'm trying.
I am, dude. I've said it so many times.
I'm dragging to get there, but I'll get there.
Basically. But yeah, I mean, that's in a nutshell. That's me. There's quite a bit more. I mean, we could talk about it more. But I'm a big family guy. But that's it. That was it. Nothing else could come in. And anything that did come in was probed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I interrogated kind of scenario. I'm not intimidating, but I was somehow intimidating. I had an air of intimidation, and people didn't like it because I would know things without knowing things. Like, oh, like I have countless examples of that, which is kind of funny. But one of the funniest ones that I could say is my cousin Kyle. He tried. They both. I don't know why anyone ever tried to hide anything from me, because I was just like, it's yeah. It's like, come on, like, really, yeah. There's always, and I thank the Lord for that gift. I really do, because I'm just skipping around again. I was about to just tell a story about Kyle, but Cameron disappeared.
Oh yeah.
He tried to run away.
Huge.
He tried to run away. He took his dad's truck. All this stuff. Nobody could find him. Lord, not me. Just using the gifts that he gave me, and I get praying about it and talk about it. I found him. In fact, the Lord let me call him because he was in a spot where it was no signal. He was actually stranded on a highway. Craziness. Which is, there's a lot more to that story, but it's all the glory goes to the Lord for that, for sure. But just, yeah, people trying to hide stuff from you. Just be honest, just be honest.
It comes out. It comes out.
Be honest.
I think that's where you and my grandfather are very the same. Like he's one of those people. He just always knows, and he's just like, well, you're gonna talk about, like, it's gonna come out. Just tell the truth, because if I don't already know, I'm gonna know. So just be honest about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So many times.
So it's like in Sterling's truth meter, it's very good. So you don't dance around it. Just go, this is what's going on, buddy.
And if I don't understand something, like going back to scripture real quick, if I don't understand something in the scripture, like if you say something like specifically, I keep thinking, Bo's name keeps popping up here, and I see Steve, and like we've talked a lot about different, we talked about a lot of different theological questions and different things like that. We even talked about marriage here recently, or what does even, what does that look like, or what's okay? If this gut feeling as Bo talks about, or anything like that, if it doesn't sit well with me, or if you try to show me scripture and I don't see it, I'm reading it, I'm looking at it, and I don't see it, I will not. I will not go, yeah, you're right. I go, I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it. And I will continue to stay there until I do see it. And I would love, and this is for anybody in the list, or anybody who ever watches this or whatever, if you have something that this is what scripture says and you believe it or whatever, okay, show me the scripture. If I still don't see it, like, I don't know, like, why the Lord hasn't shown it to me yet, I will tell you, I don't see it. And I will argue against it until I do, or I don't, this is how I see it. This is what the verse is saying to me. I'm not changing what it says. This is what it says. I'm pretty simple. I'm a simple dude. Josh knows I'm a simple dude. I'm super complicated.
I think something we've both learned and together is like you said, black and white. Like, it's like, what does it say?
Yeah.
And then if there's something to be read between the lines there, until God says, here it is. I'm the same way. I'll just be like, well, I want to believe what you're telling me, because I know that in your heart you believe this to be true, but at the same time it's like, but I'm not there yet. Maybe that will be revealed, but I'm not there yet. So let that happen in God's timing. Yeah.
The good example of this, and again, I'm not tooting my own horn, with Cameron. Cameron was gone for 5+ years.
Okay.
Just whatever. It was a whole thing. But I kept reaching out to him, and because before he even left, I knew. And no, yeah, no, yeah, no, yeah. Like, come on, just we're tight. Come on, just tell me the truth. Don't let this keep going, because this is what's going to happen. No. Well. So anyway, I say all that to say a little shout out to Cam and his humility here. This weekend, he actually told me thank you for that. Thank you for not giving up on me. Yeah, it broke me.
Love that kid.
I'm gonna stay straight. I'm not gonna do it. I was like, what? Like, what did you just say? He said his little thing, and he said thank you. It's like, he's like, he hit me on my shoulder and everything, and it's like, what do you mean? Like, I didn't do anything. I just did what I felt was right. Like, hey, I love you. That's all I did. I didn't, and then, which is crazy because nobody else did. Because I expected. I'm not tearing anybody else down. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, because I'm just going back to like the family thing and people moving away. Like my mindset, this is the box that I live in, or however you want. This is so you understand me a little bit more. Is I would expect everybody to do what I do when it comes to like caring. You're gonna go as far as you can. Like you're not gonna stop. Like him disappearing, you're not gonna quit until you find him. Like you're not gonna. He disappeared. Okay, well you gotta reach out. You can't just say, oh well, he's doing his own thing. No, you gotta keep. Yes, it can be detrimental to your own. Absolutely, it can. I understand. You know, people not going to turn. They're not going to change. You're supposed to let them go. You're supposed to let them do their own thing. He did it anyway. I didn't stop him from doing that, but I just can't give up on people. It's very hard for me to do that. But yeah, anyway, so he said thank you. So Cam, I really do appreciate again, if you watch this by chance, your humility in that. And that meant a lot to him. It really did. It wasn't needed or expected or whatever, but that truly, it was a good moment. It was a good moment. It really was. And he did a lot of stuff this weekend for me. He talked a lot about different stuff, and it's nice to see things kind of come full circle, you know, like you invest and then it's invested back into you. And that's what he did this week. And he invested back, and he's been investing back into me a lot. Now that he has the opportunity to. He's like, I want to do for you what you did for me. You know, he's like, I'm not going to be like everybody else. Go, okay. All right. You know, I appreciate it. I can see that whole point. It's been my experience. I don't change my views without having to wrestle with it first. I don't avoid wrestling anymore. Anything less seems unearned. Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good part of growth. I think that's the whole point of iron sharpening iron. That's not a easy process.
Yeah.
That's very abrasive, by the way. You know, there's a lot of sparks and pieces, and yeah. No, it's great. It really is great.
Yeah. I remember a lot of our conversations about, you know, what can we do to help Cam? How can we pray for him? How can we come beside him and help him through this? And kind of, I mean, him coming to Bible study was like monumental.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was like definitely a beginning of, you know, for lack of a better way to say it, like us being Scorpion going, get over here, you know, because it's where he needed to be.
Yeah. No, I mean, he even got involved with like Faith, Family, and Politics, the show and stuff, and was when he was living here, and he's making efforts. It was good. It was good. He's been on this track, this road back. You know, he's lived here for a little while. He lived with his brother. Now he's living with his mom, and which is interesting in and of itself. You know, but now he's trying to plan to get his own place. And I'm just like, I'm weary of that. That didn't come across well for me, but
it's like, well, move into the compound with Sterling and I, and we'll get
yeah. How about you just, you know, okay, the money that you're saving, sweet. That's great. We can fix the basement. You guys can move in the basement. You don't have to be far away.
Yeah, well, I'll just get some triple wide trailers, and
that's it.
Yeah.
We'll just attach them together with duct tape.
Underground tunnels. That'd be way cool.
That'll work too. We don't talk about those secrets here.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I mean, my wife has been a big part of my life. Obviously, it should have been. We've definitely had our ups and downs. There were some very close calls there that I didn't ever really understand. Specifically around the time I lost my dad, that was a bad time. We did go through marriage counseling. That helped a lot. Didn't have the faintest understanding of what was going on. There's a lot of discussion I had to have with Josh. Like, Josh, this is what it says. What does this mean? It's like, well, let me tell you what I've learned through my many years of experience. Like, oh, yeah. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it helps to have a friend that's been married a longer time. It's like, right. I know when I'm deep in it, you know, I mean, I've come to you, of course, but like my dad, you know, it's a solid rock of information. Well, son, this is how you're a man in this situation.
Yeah.
If you guys have never met my dad, wealth of information.
Big talker. So just prepare yourself. You may ask him a question, but you're about to get 76 sermons. Hold tight. He'll circle around. It's too true to be not real. It's
Yeah.
very true. It's crazy.
Imagine, yeah, because when like him disciplining us as kids, we're like, just beat us. We're like, just
goodness,
because
discipline.
he would do the lecture instead, and we're just like, just rock me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah. I thank my parents for that too. I going through it, definitely not, but they never spared the rod. Those traumatizing experiences will stick with you, and you will change. You know, you will. I don't want that again. That was fantastically horrible. Yeah, or the getting whipped and didn't hurt as much as it should. You're like, oh, and your dad sees you. That in? Nope. Get back here. What do you mean? What do you mean? Get back here. You didn't learn. You didn't learn the lesson. Well, no. Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Go pick your own belt. Okay. How about this one?
Yeah.
Come on now. Not that one. You know what you got. You got to get the big, thick leather one with the metal studs. What? Why? True story. Fantastic, but true story. But yeah, back to my wife. Yeah, she's been a rock. She's really helped me. We both had a lot of growing to do. I will not say that it was just one-sided. We both had it. She trusted way too easy. I didn't trust at all. So we kind of bridged some gaps there because I think that saved her from a lot of stuff. But she also had a very straightforward mindset on scripture. And when we do like our scripture readings and stuff together, I'm like, I'm not getting it. This is how I see it. And she would be like, oh, I've never seen it that way. Like, why would you even look at it that way? It's like, well, this is what it says. Yeah. She's like, huh. No. Like, yeah, this is, it's like, oh, that's cool. I brought a new perspective. I brought something that, she was been in church, everything Bible since she was a kid. So she knew, I know it's inside and out. Well, you may know because you've been taught this, but have you actually taken it from the outside perspective? Someone who doesn't know, it's like, oh, this is what this says. I never thought of it that way. I've always been told that it means this. Oh,
yeah. Well, going back to that, I've been told, and and the head knowledge too, like because we have plenty of head knowledge. I grew up church as well, but yeah, like just sitting and reading, like Bo said, just read it, dude. Just read it. Like give him a, like the Bo Nike swoosh or something. Just read it. And
Mountain Dew.
And but when we start doing that, it's like, oh, because just because it's what it says, it's black and white. That whole perspective it's lost on someone who's stuck in tradition, because tradition a lot of times, especially in denominations and stuff, it's like no.
Yeah, well, I think that's definitely, it could be a big part of it, but I think experiences in your life can also. What? I am talking. Can change how you perceive the Bible. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think when you read a certain instance, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense because I went through this, or I can relate to this in a certain way because I went through this, or whatever the case may be. So I think that's what I brought to the table a little bit differently, because if you're in a
application,
yeah, you can apply it differently. Exactly. That's a really good way to say that. You can apply it differently, because if you're in a perfect situation, an unbroken home, certain scriptures are not going to mean anything to you. Like, well, what does this mean? You can't relate. It's not applicable, but they've come from a broken home, and you read those scriptures like, oh man, that hits harder than, why is that? Because, so yeah, I think that's where, again, iron sharpens iron. That's how we can help each other grow in those kinds of things. But yeah, she's definitely been my rock. And I think I've been the same for her. I would say that I've been the same for her in that way. But like any relationship, we've definitely had our ups and downs. Went through that marriage counseling. Josh definitely helped. And again, thank you for that, Josh. And Laura even helped too, because I know that you bounced some things off of her. So thank you. Yeah. It made me realize that, guess what? You need people. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I don't want to have to need people. I don't, because that's just going to either hurt me again, or I'm going to have to rely on somebody else. And that means that I'm not enough, and that it's me again, and that something's wrong. I can't fulfill, yada, yada. I can't fix, yada, yada, myself. I can't, which is a big thing, because when you realize it, and you point straight back to Scripture again. You can't do anything without God, which is, we've talked about this a million times now. It's all God. So that really started walking me down this path, and it's been a journey. It really has been a journey, and it's been a fantastic one. It's been rough. Oh man, it's been rough. It's been hard. But I'm thankful for everything every day. It sucks going through. I've had a totally different perspective now of stuff too. I don't get freaked out by stuff as much as I used to. I'm like, you know what? Josh knows. Apparently, I'm too chill for Josh now. He was too chill for me to start. I'm too chill for Josh. Josh like, bro, this is that. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. It is what it is, man. God's got this. Yeah. I don't know. You live and you learn. And I feel like I'm getting old or something now that I need to grow my beard back. I've got all this wisdom that I don't know what to do with. And
you get some more gray in there. Yeah.
I'm just thankful. I really am just thankful for, as dark as it was, I'm thankful for my upbringing. I'll never blame my parents for anything. I can't. I just can't do that. As people say, well, your parents did the best that they could. I'll always look at it that way. Yeah, maybe they could have made some other decisions, but I would say no different about what I'm doing. I did the best that I can with Serenity. I'm doing the best that I can. So I've always looked at my parents that way. I can't blame anything. And I've even said, I'm the worst of the worst. I can't hold anything to anybody else. I'm not going to judge anybody else. I've talked to Josh about this. I've talked to Sarah about this, and I've had to break the bad part of that. Basically, I feel like I'm worthless and I can't do anything. That part's gone. I'm the worst of the worst. I shouldn't be getting any blessings. I shouldn't be on and on and on and on. That's all gone. That broke. Thankful for that as well, by the way. So, yeah, I don't know. Life is great, I guess. Life is good.
Honestly, so that leads me to my last two questions now.
All right, let's get it.
So the first of the last two questions, as you know, is based on telling your story and everything. What would be the biggest piece of advice that you could give to the folks that listen to this and view this?
Oh goodness, biggest piece of advice. Well, I could keep it really simple. Keep on keeping on. To keep it more than that, find you good people. Many of the situations that I went through, if I had good people, or, let's just say Christian believing, whatever, God-fearing people, would have changed a lot. I would definitely say that. Above all, obviously, you need to be trusting in the Lord. You need to trust in the Lord. I know that may be a hard thing to do, get into your word, but just trust in the Lord. Biggest takeaway? Man, there's too many things to say. Don't take anything for granted. Count it all joy. There we go. That's probably going to have to be it. Yeah, just count it all joy. Don't use it all for good. Whatever it is, use it all for good. Count it all joy.
I like it. And then final question. We're going to put a leather bound cover on this storybook of your life thus far.
Okay.
And so what would be the name of that book?
Name of that book?
Yeah.
I just thought of, first thing that came to head was the whole Lilo and Stitch thing. What does he say about his family? Broken, but good.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first thing that came to mind. Broken, but good. Which actually is pretty fitting. I'm usually more, I'll think of something really cool. But man, probably that's pretty good. But the other one I'm thinking is every road leads to him. I look back at it. Man, I almost cried again. I gotta quit this. Quit making me emotional, Josh. Looking back at it, if you're looking at like the front of the cover and you're going through like, what does this mean? By the time you get to the end, that every road leads to him, and him would be capitalized. The H, the I, and the M would definitely be capitalized so that it's emphasizing that it leads to the Lord. Because looking back, there's no way. There's no way. It was all by design. It was all by his grace and his mercy that I made it through anything. It's all by his grace and his mercy and his forgiveness that I met the people that I met, and he put them in my life at the perfect times and the perfect phone calls, and just it's too much outside of my control that it has to be him. So I would say that every road led to him. That would probably be the name of my book.
I was thinking it was going to be like Keep On Keeping On because you say it so much, but yeah, that I think it is much more befitting title. Because like Keep On Keeping On, I think would probably be like a chapter within that book.
Yeah, the index.
I'm just kind of taking a look and seeing who's live right now, so we can do a raid out from here. But man, you know, I know that we're broadcasting together all the time and everything, but what a great journey to go on with you. And thank you for being willing to come on here and be vulnerable and talk about all these things. I mean, because this is, you know,
it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there, but also, I mean, you know, just being willing to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to tell my story.
Yeah,
it's monumental, and for you, you know, because I know I've been. When am I going to get shit? When am I? And you're like, well, maybe someday. And so when I just kind of threw it out there, I was fully expecting a no. I honestly, I fully expected a like, not yet, no, I'm not ready.
Well, I wanted to tell you that,
but
but God, you know.
Yeah, but God. And so, yeah, thank you for doing this. Thank you for being here. And
Good night, Bo.
This pair will be back on again at 9 a.m. Eastern. So, you know, if you guys want to catch Sterling and I for Morning Word, we'll be here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to share in that and continue a biblical journey with us, then, you know, be here for that. It's Monday through Saturday, guys. And so, yeah, with that, I'll tell you guys to stay in trouble, of course.
Why?
Well, let me tell you, Sterling, because if you have Christ in your hearts, you will in fact be in trouble with the world. The world doesn't want you living under his grace. That's your salvation first and foremost. And I pray that each and every one of you has that. The world doesn't want you praying to him, having a relationship with him, or even reading his word. And it definitely doesn't want you going out and doing something so dangerous as telling others about him. But I want to encourage you to do all that anyway. Just like Sterling was talking about, man. Stay in trouble.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
We do. Bye for now.
Bye.